and has a couple of daughters that he
gets
supports.
caught up in his feelings a lot.
A feelings catching up guy, but ends up with the girl. And they may or may not have furry. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
I'm still not sure you know the plot.
No, I definitely know the plot. So anyways, there is a Suda who is one of Eleanor's friends' moms, and she's awesome. She is a huge fan of Wilde Tausch. She's the best. So I'm sitting there talking. She's got front row seats. So I just sit and kind of put my butt on the stage, like the edge of the stage. And I had a couple of people. Eleanor got after me, and a couple of other folks that were in the crowd of, that is a faux pas, you can't do. And I said, well, it just was comfortable. I talked for 5 minutes and I went to my seat. Is that something?
Wait, before the show started, right?
Started,
like
yes.
It wasn't during the show.
Obviously, when the curtains are drawn, I am sitting down in my seat.
You're not putting a folding chair out on the front of the stage.
Hey, I got an obstructed view seat now, down in front.
That's what Tenderfellow would do, but not this fella. Is that something? Jesse, since you're Mr. Overture, is that something?
I have not heard that one before.
Okay.
But
all right, yeah, I thought there's a lot of overreaction.
At an elementary school play or a middle school play,
It's a middle school play, yeah.
Lean against the...
I don't know.
I've never heard that.
I'm guessing there's some type of jinxiness.
Bad luck?
Yeah, that's my guess.
I mean, in general, the people who run stages are a little cautious about like getting close to the equipment and scenery. That's how the stage is created.
Okay.
So I think in general there's this overwhelming like, be cautious around here. Don't step on any cords. Make sure you're extra careful. Don't be on the stage unless you have to be. Like that seems to be a common characteristic of the people that I've encountered in my life. But
all right.
Do you think that this is related to you being a heavier set fella, and if you'd been a lighter fella, they wouldn't have minded?
A tender fella, if you will, a tender-footed fella. I don't know. Maybe. This isn't like it was some makeshift stage where it was going to crumble. This was a big boy stage.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I guess I just threw that out. So, Jesse, I didn't want to interrupt your story, but I obviously...
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't, actually. So, you got recognized last night. You're kind of a big deal.
It's not the first time, and it's exactly why when I told you a week ago about going into a certain ice cream establishment dressed very poorly, why I didn't want to be in that type of situation. Because last night we're at the Overture Center, and we're enjoying a couple of drinks before the show gets started. Clue, 6:30 tip last night.
How long is Clue being? How long is that going to be on? I think I'm going to go see that.
Last night was the last night.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
When does Tenderfella end?
Did Colonel Mustard do it?
I'm not going to spoil how Clue ended. No,
the run's over.
It might come back. Like these shows don't change over the years. Like,
do they do the multiple endings like the movie?
Maybe. Might have been some direct similarities to the movie. Might have been some changes.
Mr. Green needs a revamp. You got Colonel Mustard, you got Peacock. We can't just have some Mrs. White. Like, let's go. We can be more creative. What is this, Southeast West Street? Like, that's a whole nother conversation, but let's get serious here. We shouldn't be having, Mr. Green. Let's get something more entertaining. All right, continue.
It's a kid's board game.
It's not a kid's board game. It's a board game. Have some What, kids can't be creative? Oh, that's Mr. Green. No. Come up with something else.
But Miss Scarlet is so much more creative.
Yes. Oh, Mr. Orange did this, or Mr. Red. Like, come on.
How's this? First of all, there is no Mr. Red or Mr. Orange. Secondly, you're confusing that with Reservoir Dogs, I think.
Yep. Yes, he is.
I've never seen Reservoir Dogs, so no, it's nothing to do with Reservoir Dogs.
Not sure there's a Broadway version of Reservoir Dogs, but it's a Tarantino movie.
All right, will you please continue?
So I'm going up to get...
Wait a minute. No, you can't say, will you please continue, when you've interrupted him multiple times.
Please continue.
Certainly, Tausch. So I get up to go get another drink before we're getting in for the show. And as I'm walking over, somebody says, "Hey, Jesse Nelson." And I turn to him. Yeah, I'm excited when people recognize me. Yeah, you guys get it. And so, yeah. And he goes, hey, I'm a big fan of the show. I listen and watch you guys every day. Like, that's awesome. And his name is Brett.
Yeah, I was going to say, give him a shout out.
Thanks to Brett for coming up, saying he's a big fan of the show. And naturally, his first question for me, I'm going to put Brett's business on the street here for you because it seems appropriate. And I think he would enjoy
Did Mrs. Peacock do it?
No, we did not discuss the plot of
Candlestick in the Kitchen. No?
You're a big Clue guy, aren't you?
I love Clue. It's a Christmas tradition we do every year. I love Clue, yes. And even then, I think that the names are too bland during Clue.
Yes, that is what we're talking about.
And way too much shaking the dice, too. I don't think that we should. The dice part of that game needs to get, too. Too much time shaking dice in Clue.
How would you fix it?
I think you should be able to transfer to rooms easier. You get a teleportation card. Like, let's get this thing into the new age. All right, continue.
Is teleportation the new age?
It's gonna be.
Okay. So I asked Brett, thanks for being such a big fan of the show. Like, what's your favorite thing about our show? And he said,
trivia.
No, the insight.
Tausch interrupting you.
The insight that Jason provides.
I can see the Overture crowd being big with Jason. Yeah, I get that.
And then he also asked me, is Tausch as much of a pain in the you-know-what in real life,
Brett,
as he is on the air sometimes? Not all the time.
I don't know where he'd get that impression.
Yeah. It was Brett at the Overture Center with the insults.
Dang. I didn't realize. I thought I feel like I'm a pretty cultured guy. My demographics at the Overture not high, huh?
You just took a classic board game that has been around for what? 60 years?
At
70
least?
years? Got to be forever. And you've added teleportation while he's trying to tell the story of being recognized at the Overture Center.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth,
I just wanted to recap. That's all.
Whatever Brett thinks of you, I guess he does tune into the show every day, so he's probably listening right now.
Yeah,
we appreciate him joining
excited.
us.
I just want Brett listening. You can think I'm a pain in the you-know-what. Lord knows you guys try to pin that on me. You always want me to be grumpy. I'm not allowing it. I'm a positive vibes guy. Sometimes you wear me out. Today's not going to be one of those days.
And for what it's worth, I told Brett you are not as much of a pain in the you-know-what as you appear to be on the air sometimes for everybody. I tell everybody, whenever anyone asks me what it's like working with you two, I say they are off-air exactly who you think they are from listening to them on the air. Like, some people change personalities and what. You guys are exactly the same off the air as you are on the air.
Yeah,
and
authenticity.
That's what makes this fun.
I love the fact that Tausch may have proven Brett's point throughout that story, but at the same time,
proven Brett's point. What, that I want to make things better? Yeah. Hey, you're right. Guilty as charged.
That's the point. You're proving indeed. So, Jesse, how did you and Brett part ways?
That'd be a bro.
Well, I mean,
that'd be a bro.
No, I don't think we touched at all. Actually, I think I don't even remember if I shook his hand or not. Or actually, yeah, at the very beginning he shook. He's, hey, I'm Brett.
Well, I was told the handshake was going to die.
Well, no,
I
you
was told that on this show.
You proclaimed that.
What an idiot I was then.
So.
What were you wearing? Because this started
I was dressed
with
appropriately.
You not wanting to go to Burger King for ice cream because you were working in the yard.
Thankfully, I did not go as a schlub to the Overture Center last night. I wasn't embarrassed by that chance encounter with a fan of our great show. So we parted ways, and then I got in line for a drink, and then I was with Becca and her friends. We all go together, and then so we took turns before we went into the actual theater. So I went to go.
What did Becca say when you got the? Hey, Jesse.
Great question.
I bet she loves when her man gets recognized out on the street.
Not say it that way.
She gets to show her friends like he is the man. Look at my man at the Overture, just getting recognized. Wow, am I a lucky gal? Is that? I'm assuming that's the approach she took.
My man.
Every time this happens, her eyes cannot roll back in her head fast enough.
Is she jelly of your fame?
Jelly of jelly?
She is not. If anything, she's annoyed by it sometimes.
Why does she get annoyed by it?
Because we're 10 minutes, 15 minutes before getting into the show. We got to make sure we get another drink in time, go to the bathroom, get in there, all that stuff. And here I am getting slowed up talking to our guy Brett, who's a big fan of the show. And she said, go get more of those chocolate things for us to enjoy here before we get in there.
And then you say, hey, baby, I'm a star. You go get those chocolates.
All right,
I got to go about my business.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, now we've got my man and hey, baby. I don't want you. I know you went to the theater yourself to see the Tender Man show, but you acting
It's Tender
out there.
Fella.
Thank you for the correction. I know you went to
And
the
the fact
theater.
that I sat through 2 of those shows and you don't think I know the plot of a 50-minute show?
Why didn't
is
you give it to
insulting.
us then?
Because I don't want to sit here and ruin. This is Jesse's deal, not mine. It's not always about me. Lord knows you guys try to make it that way, but it's not always.
Yeah, we do. That's us.
Yes, we're the ones. Nailed it. All right. Well,
I said, can't wait to shout out Tender Fella during this story to lead the show today.
Okay, so so Jason, what did you? So is that what you thought, Becca? How she should respond?
I think that, and again, I don't know how Sarah handles it, which obviously it happens far, far, far more frequently to you and her. But I do believe that the de facto default position for our better halves is the eye roll. Oh, jeez. I think that's how Paula reacts. I don't know. How does Sarah react?
She's not an eye roller.
She's just excited that my man got recognized
No, I
again,
think
the Hall of Famer.
I don't know. You'd have to. I know she's not an eye roller though. That I know. I wish she was better at knowing people's names, because I always, who was that? She's like, I don't know. Well, what the heck? What do you mean you don't know? But I digress.
And better at operating the oven as well. Jesse, a text from the 608. I saw Jesse going in my league.
This is awesome.
Golfing in my league, but I was too starstruck to say hi.
That's great.
I'm not sure I believe that.
No, but it's a great text.
Also might be from Tier 1 Tyler himself. I haven't checked to see if that was...
You don't know his number by
No,
heart?
no,
Can't
I
you check
don't.
the number against that?
Do you know your friends' numbers by heart?
No, I don't.
You know Rob Domofsky's number by heart.
No,
For
I
sure.
don't.
30 years together, all the texts and emails you guys exchange, you don't know his number by heart?
I don't think most people know numbers now.
It's 30 years, B.
So we did a photo booth at the big dance, thanks to Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment.
Oh,
who
the dance was over the
took good
weekend.
care of us.
What's
yeah.
the big dance?
And
Like
I
the
know
He was on
Jonas?
the planning committee for the eighth
does
grade.
Oh, yeah, where he
The eighth
where
grade
he
prom
shredded
or
everybody
whatever.
else's work for 6 months, came in, and became the star. Oh, I do remember that.
Not sure that's an accurate depiction of what happened, but take another sip of your Karuba coffee and
That was a
sit
victory
back
sip
and
if I've
maybe-
ever seen one. Got him.
And I found that there were a number of the kids who aren't entirely sure of their phone numbers either. Because after you took the photo, you could have, because they don't print it out like the old school photo booth, like in the Karate Kid with Ralph Macchio and Elizabeth Shue in the little photo booth. Like, it's digital. And so you have to have it texted to you. And from what I gathered, there were folks that were trying to remember their phone numbers, because what do you do when you want to give somebody your phone number in 2025? Don't you take their phone and type in your phone number for most people and then text yourself? There were kids that were not sure of their phone numbers. So, Jesse, the fact that you don't know Tier 1 Tyler's phone number, there are people that don't even know their own phone number. Oh, Brett is texting in!
Oh, B-Dog. The B-Dog.
I'm not reading this. Jesse's going to.
From Brett in Madison, great fan of the Overture Center and of Wilde Tausch. So that was me last night. I am, in fact, listening this morning, and I think Tausch is proving my point.
And what is the point again? That I'm an obnoxious blank hole? Is that basically what
Are
Brett is
you
saying?
as much a pain in the you-know-what off air as you are on the show sometimes, I believe was the question.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, Brett, we appreciate you listening. I would hope that you would take a picture with him and bring that, like I did with the engaged couple down in Milwaukee and things of that nature. When someone comes up to you and tells you how big of a star you are, please get a photo with Brett next time, Jesse.
Next time a fan says they recognize me in whatever situation, I will take a picture.
I would hope
with
it'd be
them
at a meat raffle.
I will say it's Tausch's request that we
Thank
take
you.
a picture, and
That would be nice.
Usually that'll convince people to do
right.
such things.
Very good.
Wonder how often Gina Della of Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin gets
She
recognized.
gets recognized a lot, and especially, boy, sleek. She looks fantastic. I saw her new billboards that she's got up. We saw her on our commercial. We saw her with Vinny in the month of May. And you know what? There is no better time than now to upgrade your windows and doors, because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing. At this point, they will listen to your vision, like I hope the Clue people do, and suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions do apply. This deal, May is flying, boy. May is flying by. It's almost, middle of May already. This offer ends May 31st, so visit PellaWI.com today to learn more. Why do you feel like some months fly and some months don't? Like May is a flyby. You got graduations, it's the spring is sprung, and all this other stuff. May is a flyby month.
It probably depends what you've got going on
October again
weeknights.
of last year. Whew. Slow on slow. And that's football season, which I never say slow on slow in football season. May flyby, October slow on slow.
Laura in Chicago, and please continue to submit your improvements for the game of Clue.
I'm
via
bummed I didn't go to that overture. That would have been, it sounds like
It's a
it'd be
fun
right up
one.
my alley. And no intermission, which to me is critical when you go to a play. I'm done with intermissions. Continue, Jason.
Not done with interruptions. Laura in
Kind of
Chicago.
ironic, actually.
A suggestion for Tausch. I've got a few suggestions, too. Our family Clue rules are on every turn you can move to an adjacent room. Keeps things moving because you get a guess with every turn, but you still can't go to any room you want, as you can only go to the 3 adjacent rooms. Gets the whole game done much quicker. Yeah, if you're on one end of the board and you're trying to get to a different room, and obviously that's a long trek down the main hallway if you end up doing that. That's
Laura's
a nice
got a great
little
idea.
tip for you.
It's a really good idea. Thank you, Laura.
Better than adding a teleportation card to a game that doesn't use cards. Other than the...
What do you mean it doesn't use cards?
doesn't
Cards are the
use-
critical part of the game.
No, but it's
you put
characters
the cards in the slip. That's the critical part of the game.
But not to move,
I don't
you
think
don't
he's
use
ever.
cards.
I don't think Jason's ever played Clue.
No.
Cards
You
aren't even a
don't
part of
use
the game.
you
Jason,
don't-
cards are in the sleeve that you have to pick, and you
Tell me
hand
the other cards
out.
that. Tell me the other cards that you use to move from room to room.
It's not what. You didn't say that. You said cards aren't even part. Okay, I'm not going to fight. I don't want to prove Brett's point again.
You are.
I am, because Jason's being obtuse. No offense, Jason, but I don't even have cards. What do you mean? You hand cards, you show cards, and then you pick to win the game with
That's
cards.
what the dice are for, is to move.
Jesse, can you agree cards are an integral part of
Yes,
the game of Clue?
you're right.
Cards
they are
and
part of the
dice
game.
carry equal merit in the game of
They
Clue.
don't carry equal, but they're similar.
They serve different. Like, is the offensive line as important as the corners?
Brett,
Like, which
get
one
it.
do you need to play the game of football?
I get it. You
need
guys are
both.
setting me up for a Bretsky today. You're trying to Bretsky me. I'm not going to be Bretskied. I'm not.
More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no one to undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. Looking to simplify your everyday banking? Our checking and savings accounts offer the tools you need, plus the friendly, simply local service you deserve. Enjoy competitive rates, 24/7 online and mobile banking, and real people ready to help right here in your community. Whether your checking balance is at midnight or stopping by one of our branches at noon, Great Midwest Bank has you covered with a variety of new and improved account options designed for your unique needs. Great Midwest Bank, simply local and member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Looking for a Milwaukee tradition? It's Saz, and for nearly 50 years, Saz's have been serving up award-winning ribs that'll make your taste buds dance. Don't miss our festival-famous mozzarella marinara, the appetizer that put us on the map and keeps Milwaukee coming back for more. Whether you're heading to a game or just catching up with family and friends, make Saz's your place to go. 55th and State. Saz's, where memories are made and stories are shared, one delicious bite at a time. Saz's Steakhouse, the finest. A Milwaukee tradition since 1976.
Carbless ready-to-drink cocktails are here for your flawless summer. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Drinking Carbless and watching the crew is already a win, but now that combination is about to get a whole lot better. Carbless is offering you a sweet night at the ballpark. Your chance to win 14 tickets with food and drinks included to the July 26th game is just one shopping trip away. From now until the end of May, head to your local retailer and scan the QR code to register for your chance to win this amazing prize. A flawless summer night at the ballpark awaits.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
This is Kevin Moret from Mentality. Men, you're being robbed of your potential. Research shows a shocking 1% annual decline in testosterone levels. That's why building muscle feels impossible and your confidence is at an all-time low. But here's the truth. You're not alone in this uphill battle. Mentality's physician-directed, FDA-approved treatment doesn't just level the playing field, it restores your body's powerful balance. Our patients experience a documented 30% increase in their testosterone levels. Stop struggling and turn this around. Defy the odds and reclaim your masculine edge at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com. wildrockgolf.com.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
I have no idea why Paula chose to listen to the show today. Apparently she's running errands. Must be the new ESPN Wisconsin app that's been loaded onto everybody's phone here. Cards are obviously part of Clue, but I know what you meant. They are not how you move around the board like you do in Candyland. It's good to have somebody who gets you.
Who said that?
Paula.
It's funny you bring up Candyland.
So what is she afraid? She knows you're completely wrong, and then but I know what you meant.
Yeah. It's almost like partners know what each other
the
means
dice
and
make
doesn't
you, yeah, she's right.
destroy them for misspeaking.
Oh, you got destroyed. Oh, yeah. Of anybody in this group that destroys someone when they misspeak, I let your misspeaks go most of the time. I don't enunciate a syllable right, and you're all over me about it. So let's stop with the victimhood there, old boy. Okay.
Is this how the rest of the day's going to go?
I don't know. Brett's got me all fired up this morning. Brettster.
You brought up Candyland, and I thought
thinking about making that into a Broadway
it
show.
Is. I thought last night.
Shoots and ladders much higher on the power.
This is going to be a great question. Would you let Jesse ask it? I love this idea.
We turned Clue into a Broadway show. What other board games would make for a good Broadway show?
Great question.
Monopoly Live has to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And you get all the bright colors and everything, and you can make a storyline about the wheelbarrow and everything. Like, that's going to be awesome if they do Monopoly Live.
I agree.
Candyland would be a good one.
No, Candyland sucks.
No, you could turn it into a good musical.
It doesn't matter. Candyland sucks.
The
guys.
Gumdrop Land and the.
Why do you hate Candyland
I don't think it's not. I don't
hate it.
Deal.
You just said it sucks.
It does. I have no. It's a kid's game. It's a kid's game. You want to do this, you want to have some adult. I'm sorry, but are a bunch of 5-year-olds going to Overture to go watch Clue?
Not Clue, but The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast next year and several of the other Disney shows, yeah.
All right, well, you guys go watch Candyland then. To me, it's not that great of a game. It's not. Shoots and Ladders much better.
Okay, what would be the storyline of Shoots and Ladders?
Shoots and Ladders, the musical.
Which is a much more adult game. You're right. We're wrong.
Okay, it's about time you guys recognize that. No, Monopoly is obviously it's the right answer, and Jesse is correct on that. Monopoly should be overtured, I guess would be the word I'd look for.
Can I give you the best-selling board games of all time?
Well, let us guess. Let's see if we can guess the top 5. Ooh. Monopoly.
Would you like me to give you the 20 to
no, just 5?
6?
No. Just the top 5. I don't care about the 26th board game.
Right, but the reason why I was going to do it is maybe we would stumble upon another Broadway show as I did.
Let's guess the top 5 first, then you can go through some of the honorable mentions.
All right, here we go.
Monopoly.
Yeah, Monopoly's got to be there.
Clue.
Yep.
Monopoly.
Got to be won by a large margin.
Now, again, this is from fun.com.
Credible.
The first 2 are, they're board games.
Oh, no.
But they're not when I think of a board game, I think of something with a name in it.
I think of a game with dice and no cards.
We're not calling cribbage a board game, are we?
No.
It's based on that giveaway on Saturday. That would be number 1.
But we so let's just do this. Among the top 10 are backgammon. Would you consider backgammon a board game? Also, chess and checkers are 1 and 2, which obviously are played on boards. But I always think of a game that's that chess and checkers. You say you want to play a board game. I don't think let's play chess.
I would agree.
It's different.
I agree with you.
Okay. All right, so Monopoly is the top-ranked one among games with names.
Clue.
Clue is number 5.
Oh, just sneaking in.
So if we're including chess and checkers.
Is this 5 on the adjusted list? Or?
No, it's 3 on the adjusted.
Okay. Yeah, listen, you just said take checkers and chess
I did.
Okay.
All right, they're out.
Yahtzee.
Okay.
Yahtzee. It's a dice game.
So is Clue, supposedly. So.
Oh, no. You think the dice and Yahtzee matter just as much as the Clue, the dice and Clue?
I don't know. I asked Paula.
Yahtzee,
She's got to understand what you're saying, Tausch. I get it.
Yahtzee, not. I'm sure she's turned it off by now. Yahtzee, not on the list.
Operation, which would be a great musical.
Operation, also not on the list.
Wow.
I'm guessing Life would be on that list.
Life, well done, Mark Tauscher. It is 11th and 9th on the list if we take out chess and checkers. Would you like to know the others?
Yes.
I thought so. Number 2/number 4, Scrabble.
Oh, yeah.
Now, again, I think of that as that's another game where I would just call it Scrabble. I wouldn't say, do you want to play a board game and then pick it?
Scrabble is a board game, though.
Yeah, it is.
Battleship?
That's a fun one.
Yeah, Battleship's
That could be
musical.
That could definitely be overtured.
Bunch of dancing sailers. I love it.
They did make a full-length feature film out of it a few years ago. Battleship. Movie.
Trivial Pursuit.
I actually despise. I don't want to be too. No, I pull back. I love trivia. I don't think you need to go around.
You and Michael.
No, I just think the dice part of these games, that's not where you win and lose. You win on your knowledge base. The same thing with Clue. Both of those games need to be ridden of the board and just make it more guessing and strategizing and figuring it out.
Like Laura in Chicago suggested. All right, the others on the list, I'm just going to run through these. Candyland 7, Rummy Cube?
Yeah, Rummy Cube, yeah.
Life, Othello, Pictionary,
Othello,
Catan.
like the Shakespeare deal? They got a board game?
I don't know. I've never played it. Looks like it's got like
Not
little
familiar.
circular objects. Here was the one that I was going to guess as a show. Risk.
That's a great board game.
Stratego Mancala, which again, I don't know what that is. Connect 4, Blockus, and Cranium. Those are your top 20 board games according to fun.com. Speaking of fun, Jesse has fun when he goes to the Overture Center and gets recognized. Not as much fun to get recognized when he goes to Quick Trip and the Badgers Outsider accuses him of eating all of the free samples, but we all love stopping at Quick Trip.
Jesse, we get it, man. Life's busy. And Quick Trip gets it. And whether you're craving that fresh coffee I grabbed on the way into work this morning, or just your go-to grab-and-go foods, Quick Trip has a variety of apps and meals. And it's Monday. You know what, everybody? Let's do the challenge this week. Who's up for a challenge?
Becca's in. Becca's in.
Love it. How many does she think she can get?
4.
All right, she's going to get 4.
Easy.
I am going to go and grab a rotisserie chicken. I got a long day ahead of me, but we're going to do a rotisserie chicken tonight. I am also going to do the rotisserie chicken challenge. You get it today for $6.99, and I bet you can get at least 3 meals, including a soup. Becca's going to try for 4. I'm going to shoot for 3. You got the juicy chicken tenders or boneless wings. That happens on Wednesdays. You get them for $9.99. Beautiful. Everybody loves the chicken at Quick Trip. You can get Nature's Touch butter. You can get onions and baked potatoes, 29 cents a pound. All that great stuff. All head over to Quick Trip. Use that app. You get great perks when you use your Quick Rewards app. Quick Trip. We'll see you next time. Jason, you going to get in? The 4. No. Let's our groups. You're not?
No.
Why?
Because we're probably not going to eat at home all week. A lot going on as May flies by and the school year comes to an end.
But what are you going to eat then?
What
are you going to do for food?
I've got a question.
Tell me your food plans.
You don't have to bully him into trying.
I'm not bullying. I'm asking.
My question is, if I get a bag of soup and that soup does not include chicken and I add chicken to it, would that count as one of the meals?
Yes. Absolutely.
And you'd also buy the soup at Quick Trip, and obviously that would be a great thing.
I got a funny little story. I know, Jason.
No, please. Tease it out. Let's go. Funny story.
After I had a great time, I was up in Green Lake. We played some golf with my boy Tej. We had a group of 8 of us. It was fun. And we finished the round. It was freezing on Saturday. Raining, but still a really enjoyable round because it ended up getting... And something happened to me when I ordered I Love a Bowl of Soup. Something happened that I had never had happen to me before. I will tell you what that is next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Tailgate season, company victory party, don't let your event fall short. V Private Bar Services delivers the winning play with expertise. We're talking custom cocktails, top shelf service, and an atmosphere that'll have your team pumped. Forget the watered-down beer and basic mixers. Get the VIP treatment for your corporate events with bartenders who know the perfect pour. V Private Bar Services, where elevated hospitality runs through our veins. Explore vprivatebar.com and leave the mixing to us.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on 2 wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve 0 preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. 0 in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Wade vs. Diener is about planting seeds of opportunity and watching them grow into something amazing. Join NBA and Marquette stars Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener and be part of this incredible journey at the Champions for Literacy celebration on June 27th. Or register your son or daughter for the Elite Youth Basketball Camp coached by Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener themselves on June 28th. Register at wadevsdiener.givesmart.com. That's wadevsdiener.givesmart.com.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman. The summer months are all about activity, but you can't experience that activity if you have pain in your joints. QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for that joint pain. Don't just take my word for it. There's over 50,000 satisfied patients nationwide. It's truly remarkable how Milwaukee's medical direct, Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her team, are using regenerative cell therapy to restore that tissue in your achy joints. They're utilizing biological growth factors, things I've seen with my own 2 eyes at the Greenfield location. It's a powerful and potent way to give new life to your joints, repairing that old tissue that's causing all the pain. And the best part, with QC Kinetics, there's no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Give yourself the gift of pain-free living and lasting relief with QC Kinetics so you can do all the things you enjoy this summer. Get your free consultation today by calling QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
At Ewald Automotive Group, we don't just see the uniform, we see the people in them. Ewald salutes those who serve and are brave first responders. Thank you for your dedication, sacrifice, and for keeping us safe. As always, service members and their families can benefit from the Ewald Military Advantage Program with special pricing and incentives on every vehicle. And for every new car sold this month, we'll make a donation to local military and first responder charities. Thank you from Ewald Automotive Group.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
You say that I'm a mess. How could you expect anything less?
Tausch had a lovely weekend playing golf with Tej, but not TJ Lang, different Tej.
Correct, yeah.
And he had something that had never happened to him before happen.
That's a great setup, Beck. So we got played 2 rounds. On Friday, we did the show from there. Friday we played, and it was fun. I had, I sent you guys a picture. We'll save that for tomorrow. I want you to decipher what happened. So we get done playing Friday, have a great night, have a nice steak dinner. We do the whole bit. It was fun. Woke up. Wish we'd have played a little earlier, but tee times were tight. We played Saturday, and it was cold. And I'm not going to lie to you, I've gotten soft. I don't want to play when it's miserable out. But the weather turned, and it was still a little chilly, but no rain. Finished the round. It was about 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And I like a good bowl of soup. You guys know I'm a big soup guy. I talk about bags of soup from Quick Trip. I love chili. I love crock pots. I am a soup connoisseur. I love chowder. I think it is the best soup, clam chowder. I think it's a great soup. Not going to go through a power rankings of soup today. I know you're chomping back there, old Musty Mac.
Not going to do it.
But I'm not going to do it. So we get in, and everybody sits down. We kind of have a thanks for hosting, all this other stuff. Grab a bowl of soup, and we're going to hit the road. So I order a bowl of clam chowder. Everybody else gets like a sandwich or something else. And all of a sudden, nothing happens. The waitress comes out, doesn't ask, fires me a bowl of rice and chicken soup. Just fires me a bowl of rice and chicken soup. And then she says, "We're out of chowder. I thought you'd like this." Is that apropos, or is that kind of ridiculous?
Well, she heard you were a soup connoisseur and you'd really appreciate any type of soup.
Specifically, because I love hot sauce in my clam chowder, I said the clam chowder because it looked phenomenal. Obviously, we were there. We teed off about 11.
How did you see the clam chowder? You walked by someone eating it?
Somebody was having it for lunch prior to us going out. So I thought, ooh, after the round, that's going to be real good. And get you a little hot sauce with it. So I went, I ordered it, I said it, and she came back and said, cup or bowl. And, of course, old T's going to get a bowl. So I got a bowl with some of those good oyster crackers and hot sauce. To me, if you make a good chowder, it's about as good a soup on a cold day as you're going to find. And I get fired with this rice and chicken. What should my response have been? Is it IPT for that waitress just to do that?
So, I'm sorry, just to clarify, did she come with the chicken and wild rice soup and say, "I'm sorry, Mr. Tauscher, we are out of the clam chowder. I brought you the chicken and wild rice because I know you're a soup connoisseur"?
No.
Okay.
She dropped,
and it's on the house.
She dropped a bowl of chicken rice. She set it down right in front of me. Didn't say anything. And then as I looked, I'm like, she's like, "Oh, we're out of chowder." That was it. That was it.
Yeah, IPT.
That's so gutsy that I actually respect
I
the
didn't
move.
have any problem. I also respected it.
Well, it doesn't sound like it. Sounds like you had a problem.
It, but I don't mind. I like gumption. Give me gumption. She had gumption.
Give me chowder is what you really wanted to say.
Was it an older lady like the ones that were golfing in front of you last week? Or was
Nancy was at the Snack Shack, and she is my all-time favorite. She is the goat of Snack Shacks.
She's how old is Nancy?
She was probably, I don't know, mid-70s.
So she's much like Mark and Ruth.
But I don't want to put her business on the street because I don't want to get her in trouble. Yeah. But she was open to sweeteners and she was just, you're talking.
I beg your pardon?
She was open to sweeteners. I'm not putting any of her business on the street. But if it was, well, you get this for this and all this, she was fantastic. She made the trip. She was a big part of the trip.
Nancy's got a whole menu of bargains.
She's awesome. She was great.
So I think if it's a grandma age
she wasn't grandma
person who's saying, I think you'd like this instead, I'm going to trust that.
Okay.
Which might be, I don't know, ageist of me.
It is.
As opposed to if it's someone younger than me, same age as me, that if they're saying, I think you'd want this instead, I don't know if I'm going to trust that as much.
That's fair. Took a couple bites of the soup and I ordered a patty melt. Didn't love the soup.
Did you have to pay for the soup?
The patty melt. I think the soup you could get with the fry. I don't know. The patty melt was better than the soup. Let's put it that way.
No, did you have to pay for the soup that you didn't order?
I don't know. That's probably would have been a part of the story.
Do you feel like this story was as good as most stories you tell?
Well, I was hoping you guys would get into, oh, yeah, the waitress should have done this, but y'all didn't really seem to care.
I think we did.
No, not really. And that's fine.
We'll have to review the tape. I feel like we did exactly that. Okay.
I'm going to stand by my point. If it's an older waitress that says, I think you'd like this instead.
It shouldn't matter if it was a 16-year-old or if it was an 86-year-old.
No, I think it's a big difference.
I disagree.
A big difference.
But you're right. Gumption, great gumption by her. Just let us know that there's no chowder. I mean, she came back and asked cup or bowl, too. So,
I mean, if you paid for it or not is a big part of the story.
not really.
Kind of an important question.
I just disagree.
Makes or breaks the story.
Why would it make or break the story?
If you didn't pay
If you
for
got
it,
it for free, it was an inconvenience.
We're out of the other soup that you ordered. Here's this one. Try it if you want. If not, we can get you something
I didn't really
else.
get to try it if you want. It's like eat the soup.
Let's play some trivia presented by Vortex Golf and complete a first hour without a discussion of sports. I hope the questions are at least sports related.
As a matter of fact, they are, Jason. The sports weekend recap, because there were sports that happened this weekend for us to talk about. The sports weekend recap, today's category.
Caller 10 right now. Caller 10 for trivia presented by Vortex Golf. We've now given away 2 of the range finders and swag bags. Now's your opportunity to qualify to get the next round on Friday. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 10 plays trivia, and they do it next. It's Wilde Tausch.
We're on the... This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab,
that's his favorite.
and the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison. This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Save big on your landscaping project at Menards. We're your destination for concrete landscaping blocks. Whether you're installing a patio or adding a new retaining wall, we have the largest in-stock selection ready to take home today. Plus, get free estimates fast using our landscape design program in store or on Menards.com. Save big on landscape blocks when you shop at Menards. And check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC, Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Breese Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Born in the heart of the earth, natural diamonds rise up like the notes of a song from the throat of Mother Nature.
Rick, that was positively poetic.
Mother Nature sings diamonds.
Sarah, wow, you can sing.
Born in the heart of a plasma chamber, created diamonds fall softly like snowflakes from the heart of a star.
A star that shines like true love.
Natural diamonds are earthborn.
Created diamonds are starborn.
Kessler's has the largest selection of natural diamonds in the state of Wisconsin. All the different sizes, all the fancy shapes.
Give her a fancy diamond.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
Bigger, brighter natural diamonds.
And financing that makes anything possible.
Kessler's is the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America.
Which means we can do anything we want to do.
For you.
Mother Nature sings diamonds.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Make plans to stop by Third Ward Beer Garden at Catalano Square. Experience Milwaukee's favorite beer garden, the perfect spot to meet up with friends in the Third Ward. Open Wednesday through Sunday with live music Thursday through Saturday. Good times and great vibes await at Third Ward Beer Garden.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Hold on, I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone. I don't wanna move on. I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone for good. You're slipping through my fingertips a little bit by a little bit. I didn't know the love of you was the happiest I've ever.
We'll play trivia presented by Vortex Golf in a moment. But as is often the case in the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube comments, they're having their own show over there. First, apparently Michael's phone self-corrects Jesse to Jesus, which I don't know how to read into.
Yikes.
You know, help with curveball.
Praise the Lord. Secondly, we are drawing some criticism for being this deep into the show and not discussing the Packers.
I think that's a fair criticism by whomever is in the YouTube. I think that's fair.
And then Marcus Newsom, sounds like a made-up name, has come into the YouTube comments, and he is apparently, maybe he's the same guy that was trash-talking LaFleur on the field in Detroit, because he is... He's basically just trying to stir up you-know-what with the Dwellers.
No, what?
By just trashing, go Lions, can't wait till they start 1-0, bums. Like, he's just looking to get people worked up. He's attention-seeking behavior.
Does he got gumption?
No, he's annoying.
Okay.
Lynn in St. Peter on the Carbless Tugga text line. Ouija, the musical. Ouija board. There you go. Could be a horror flick. That would be great for all ages.
Have you guys ever done the Ouija board?
I have never done it. Have you?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Did you levitate?
I didn't. The board did. Like the little deal.
No.
Wow.
Frankly, that sounds made up.
Wilde and Tausch trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
Let's welcome our contestant. He is a first-time contestant. He is Mike in Waukesha. Mike, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Good morning. Doing great. How are you?
Great. Welcome to trivia. Good luck, as you'll have a chance to win a Vortex Golf Rangefinder, and you've already got one entry just by being caller 10. All right. Question, Tausch, I see you with a piece of paper.
I'm ready to roll today, baby.
Okay.
I'm ready to roll today, baby.
I had to hustle to get that to him. But.
By the way, Jesse, who always busts my chops about giving away answers to trivia beforehand, if you were listening to the show, Jesse gave away an answer to trivia that he wrote. FYI, here we go. What was the very, very, very popular giveaway item that Jesse just mentioned that had fans lined up 3 hours before the first pitch of the Brewers-Twins game on Saturday night? Is it Bob Uecker's bobblehead, the Racing Sausage cribbage board, or CC Sabathia's batting practice pants? That's good.
Good one.
It was the cribbage board.
Don't you find that ironic, Jesse? All the chop busting you do to me, and you just did that literally a segment before trivia.
Well, at least I didn't say it like going into it or, God forbid, as the question's about to be asked. I said it like 30 minutes ago. Mike very well may not have been listening 30 minutes ago.
Cranberries are very big in the Wisconsin Rapids area. Also ginseng.
It's ginseng.
Yeah.
Not ginseng.
You gonna keep going?
No, you got the next one. What are you, crazy? I'm doing all three. Go for it.
Question 2, Mike, is this. Which of these was not one of the matchups featured as part of Major League Baseball's rivalry weekend? Was it Cardinals-Cubs, Yankees-Mets, or Dodgers-Angels? That was not one of the matchups featured.
Cardinals-Cubs.
Was it Cubs-White Sox?
It was.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
You know
All
what?
right, 2 for 2.
The
well
Rockies suck so bad that they're making the White Sox look good. Like, that's hard to do. That is hard to do. All right, last one. What was the only series in the second round of the NHL playoffs to play a Game 7?
I watched this.
Jets Stars, Panthers Leafs, or Oilers Golden Knights?
Panthers Leafs.
Ah, man. So he came out the week shooting.
Mike, if Matthew Golden debuts like you did in trivia, the Packers are going to be very, very happy in week 1 against
very happy.
The Detroit Lions, and it'll be a very, very sad.
I like to lead by example.
Yeah, that's you. That's what you do. You and never mind. Marcus Newsom in the YouTube comments. All right, you got all 3 right. That means you got 4 entries into Friday's drawing, the maximum number of entries with a chance to win the Vortex rangefinder and a swag bag from Vortex Golf. No news yet on whether binos are also in the swag bag. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a great day.
That is Wilde Tausch. Trivia, if you came here for Packers discussion, you may get it.
Sorry.
In the 10 o'clock hour.
Not a great game either.
Sorry, the musical, though.
It's okay, but it's better than Candyland. I'll give you that.
Candyland, where cards are the modus operandi of getting around the board.
You think our kids will ever get into that? You think they'll board games? Because board games, there's actual mortar stores now that are board games. And I saw that. I'm like, that's crazy. But then you go in there and it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I think board games will be around.
I hope so. I do.
I won't be around if we don't talk about Packers in the 10 o'clock hour, which starts in 2 minutes. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's your pal Donald Driver here. For 10 years, I've been working with the Wisconsin DOT to get everyone to wear their seatbelt. And it's working. Nearly 90% of Wisconsin drivers buckle up, which makes me want to say to the ones who don't, come on, man. If you don't wear your seatbelt, you're going nowhere fast. Buckle up. If you don't, it can cost you money or a lot worse. Click it or ticket, and let's work together to save lives. Take my driving safety quiz at zeroinwisconsin.gov.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. Now, again, the YouTube comments anticipating Packers talk have begun their own version. It's about the offensive line configuration and about Zach Tom, because they all read the story at channel3000.com, I'm sure. But before we get to that, I would like to talk about, we need to have a conversation about Nate Hobbs. Because we have spent a large portion of our offseason conversation at the cornerback position discussing the never-ending saga of Jair Alexander.
And why is this saga never ending? Like,
I don't know.
Like, here we go. Like, you either want him on the team and he's going to take a reduced contract or he's not. He has a workup bonus, I'm guessing. Like, what are we waiting on here?
I wish I had a better answer for you.
Well, what is the answer that the organization is giving you?
We're working through it. I am going. Now, this is a guess. So Brett at the Overture Center. This is not insider information. This is an educated guess. I believe that the reality is that Jair Alexander is willing to take a haircut on his base salary.
But not a full
But not
shave.
like a full shaved head. Exactly. Thank you for reading my mind on that. And I think
That's
the
what
Packers
partners do, right? We try to find ways and get it going, right?
Indeed. That's what we do. And the Packers would like it. He would just like a trim, and they would like him to be like
Full Metal Jacket.
Telly Savalas, Kojak. Is that a recent enough reference for people?
That's older than J.R. Ewing. By the way,
know it
Dallas
is.
had a board game.
What?
Yeah. I saw it on The Office. Otherwise, I would have never known they had one.
I can tell you this. The White Shadow had like a version of that basketball game where you tap it and there's the little metal pieces and it knocks the ball up. You're trying to get in the hoop.
I'm going to throw you a bone. If you can find the board game Dallas, that'd be a great Christmas present. I won't throw that away like you do mine.
I appreciate that. I do take pride in my gift giving
really
and
good
making
at it.
mental notes.
It's a note. Write the note
I wish
down.
you hadn't said that out loud because the first thought I had when you said it was, oh, that's perfect.
It's a great game.
For his gift.
Yep. Well, my birthday's coming too.
It is. Like very, very, very soon. Well, not very, very soon, but soon.
Well, as May keeps flying by, yeah.
That's what I hear. So I don't know what the holdup is beyond the fact that I think both sides have an idea under which circumstances they'd like to stay together. But again, I think the Packers want much more of a safety net if he has injury problems again. And of course, as we discussed with Elton Jenkins, you want some measure of security. Now, his situation is vastly different than Elton's, but guys don't want to be playing with a bunch of variables on how much they're going to get paid. So I'm sure Jair doesn't want that either. But the situation he's in, the only question I have is where's he going to find it better? From a financial standpoint, I'm not sure he's going to do that much better if he leaves, right? And from a competitive standpoint, I'm not sure what he wants. But here, we're proving my point. We're not talking about Nate Hobbs. When you pay a guy, and they paid him $16 million guaranteed, 4 years, $48 million, as Tausch has pointed out many times, their free agency approach appears to be a 2-year deal, and then we'll see, right? You've said that about a bunch of these deals.
That's how Russ likes it, and it's smart business by Russ.
Yeah, and including two guys that were absolute studs last year, right? That's. If we're being honest, that's how Xavier McKinney's contract is structured. And that's how Josh Jacobs' contract was structured. That if for some reason this doesn't play out the way you want it to with either of those guys, you can pretty much cut bait after this season. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case.
I think Xavier McKinney will get extended. I think the Josh
agree.
Jacobs thing's going to be interesting.
I agree with that as well.
All right.
So
I just read somebody wrote a piece on Marshawn Lloyd. He is light. They haven't even practiced yet, have they?
Yeah, that was. I have not written about him.
Somebody just. Oh my God, he looks. This is that best shape of your life. Going to be dominant.
All
it's that
Oneida.
time of the year. Like, come on.
You know who I think of this time of the year every year? Who?
Luke.
No.
Everybody raved about Luke in the offseason.
Well, they raved about him in training camp, though, at least, that first year. The guy I always think of, your former teammate, David Martin. Tight end, number 2 tight end behind Bubba Franks.
I remember David. I don't remember everybody raving about him.
Every offseason. Oh, he looks so good. He's in shorts and helmets. He's making all these catches. People get excited, and then they put the pads on, and he was not nearly as productive. But I digress. Why have we not talked about Nate Hobbs? Because they're paying him to come in and be a significant piece of their defense, and we have barely, and it's not just because we've been talking board games that would make good musicals, we've barely talked about him. Any idea why? And it's not just us. He has not been an overly compelling story for anyone that covers this team. There has not been a ton of focus on him. There's been more focus on Aaron Banks. Why?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. You're the media. You tell me. You guys find what's the storyline and what sells. Is Hobbsy not sellable? Like, why do you not write about it?
I thought it was because he was a backup plan.
No, you're paying him 11. What is it?
Exactly.
11 or 12 million bucks a year. He's going to be a slot guy to start, and then who knows? I think part of it is the signings again, as Green Bay has been doing. It's a kind of a combo platter, and I think Banks' signing told us a lot more about where the mindset was. Corner, everybody knew Green Bay needed to address it in some way, shape, or form, and Jair's scenario has sucked all the oxygen. These rooms only have so much oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
And the oxygen, although the O-line room with Elton Jenkins and now the Zach Tom story, I'm guessing Hobbs, everybody's going to say he looks the part, he's going to do what they want, and you just hope he's going to be one of those guys that's a steady, really good football player. And that's not sizzly. That's not a chowder. That's a chicken and rice. Oh, that's cute. I'll have that. We'll move on. That's kind of
if I didn't order it. So I am writing about him this week because we asked Jeff Hafley about him, and I do think that if it's possible to get a $48 million contract and be under the radar, I think that's what's happened with him. And I want Jesse to play what Hafley had to say about Hobbs because I'll be honest, when he talks about him, like, he doesn't even sound like he knows exactly what he's going to do with him. Now, I would assume
he hasn't been on the field yet.
I understand, but when you sign a guy, you usually have a plan, and I think he does. I think he just doesn't want to give it away. But here is Jeff Hafley talking about the signing of Nate Hobbs, the cornerback.
I see Nate can play outside and Nate can play inside. So we're gonna have him do both. His film was, when you're getting ready for free agency and you're evaluating tape, it's one thing that you love about him. He's had a lot of success inside, and I thought his tape outside was equally as good. He is competitive. He's tough. He is physical. He plays the game fast. You can tell he loves it. It just jumps off the tape. I don't know if you guys watched any of it, but it certainly jumps off the tape the way the guy plays, and he's been a great addition. And he does give you that versatility where you can move him around. And again, I'm a big fan of that.
At least he doesn't assume you didn't watch the tape.
Hafley knows.
If you did.
Let's be honest. None of y'all watch any tape.
That's all right. First of all,
well, you don't.
Which
one of your beat guys is most likely to break down tape of Hobbs?
Brian Balaga.
No. Of your beat guys.
So I don't.
Who would it be?
I don't know.
If we're being honest, not to disparage.
When they signed him, I did go back.
You watched the highlight package.
No, I have NFL Plus, so I went and looked for What? Don't
I'm
roll
doing
your
the
eyes.
Jet.
You rolled
I'm
your
doing
eyes.
the Becca. I am doing the Becca right now. For all of y'all on.
I mean, that is the face.
It is.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Jason's just busting down
So-
film
no.
of Oakland or Las Vegas versus Arizona on a 3:15 CBS local game. He's busting back watching. Boy, he's right. He really's got great hip turn. Come on.
I didn't say I was evaluating him. I said I watched him. There's a difference. You are really.
My guess is, well, I'm not going to tell you what you did.
So what I did, I could tell you what I did. Okay, and then you can tell me if this qualifies as doing any sort of due diligence or not. How's that sound? Fair?
On your end.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say there's not, but okay,
I
continue.
have a feeling I know where this ends.
Yes,
but
I do too, but let's go down this yellow brick road and see
Spoiler
what
alert.
happens.
All right, first of all, he missed 6 games last year.
Okay.
Which is less than ideal. The first thing I did, I went to Pro Football Reference, looked at his stats, then went to his game by game. Then I looked at how many games he had interceptions in. That was easy because there was one. He had 1 interception last season. So I went and watched that game. Like tidbits. So I fast forwarded through when I think it was the Rams were on defense.
Law and Order SVU it was on commercial, so I clicked over.
You could have just YouTubed
Law
Nate
and Order,
Hobbs'
Jerry
one
Orbach
interception.
is solving some crimes, and then I threw Hobbs on. Boy, his hip swivel's real good versus such and such.
You just wanted to watch
didn't
the
say
interception.
I evaluated his hip swivel but I did want to look at, is he physical, right? Because when we talk about Jair Alexander, one of the things that even someone who is not an NFL scout could notice about him before the Najee Harris tackle and after is that he went from being very physical to not being very physical. So these are things that you don't have to be Goody or Elliott Wolf or John Schneider to recognize. So I watched that. The one other game I watched was a game where he had 10 tackles. I thought, okay, well, that seems like a game where he was pretty productive. I'll watch that. Did I watch let's see, if he missed all 11 games he played in? No. But I don't appreciate being disparaged like this yet again.
Tough luck. I'm going to disparage you. It's great that you did all that. They obviously like his versatility. And when you have guys that are injured, maybe the value of that of bringing him in is better. If he had played all 17, had 5 or 6 picks, he's probably not coming to Green Bay on basically a 2-year deal for, I don't know what the guaranteed money is.
$16 million.
Okay, that's not popcorn money, but it's, you're not big time spending here. You're taking a flyer on a guy that you think can add a lot of versatility and play a key role on your defense. That's a smart signing. As far as all of the other stuff goes, you're not going to bring someone in outside of your core guys that you're developing. If you want to be this physical, competitive group, you're not going to bring somebody in that's not going to be a willing tackler.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that's one of Jeff Hafley's core principles on what he's looking for. And when you get to be selective with guys, that is something you're going to look at. So I'm glad that you went and broke down in between all of your other dramas that you watch, that you broke down a 10-tackle game from Hobbs. I'm glad. So when you, in your limited, and I'm not trying to disparage you here, in your limited time, is he a physical football player?
Yes.
All right.
He hits hard.
Okay.
And Sherian in the ESPN Madison YouTube comments, is picture-in-picture still a thing? No, but I did try to have both Law & Order reruns on as I was watching film of him.
That never really took off like I think the TV folks thought.
Picture-in-picture?
Yeah, having 2 things, because it just doesn't feel... Now it's more picture and phone, second screen. That has taken a bigger hold of society than the PIP ever did.
Yeah, I don't know if I was ever a good enough multitasker to be able to watch 2 things at once.
You're a pretty good multitasker. You fold laundry.
No, I have a lot of laundry to get to, but I don't do it because it's distracting.
You're selling
I'm respectful of you.
stuff on Broad Brush or whatever that place is called. You got
Broad Brush.
What is the place you sell all this stuff on?
Poshmark.
Poshmark.
Broad Brush.
Facebook Marketplace. Don in Mayville chimes in. Thank you, Don. On the Carbless Target text line. Corner will develop through the on-the-field play. Hopefully Nixon doesn't just get a free pass. I'm not impressed with his antics. Yeah, we did ask about him and his proclamation that he was a CB1 as well.
What did Hafley say when you asked him that?
I'll have to look at the transcript. I don't remember.
What was the ballpark of it? Is he a cornerback one in his opinion?
He loves Nixon. Like, he's the guy that's basically increased his profile, right? I mean, he was just a slot guy, and then Hafley came along, and he played a ton outside, and they think he's a starting outside corner. So, yes, I don't know if anybody...
CB1, huh?
Well, now, I will say he was also... That question was also posed to Rich Bisaccia, who did point out that...
Is Rich Bisaccia running the defense now, too?
No, but the comment about being CB1 was tied into, I don't want to return kicks anymore.
Yeah.
And Rich Bisaccia said we had a conversation about that. So I am...
So he will be returning kicks.
I don't think... if CB1s do not return kicks...
He ain't a CB1.
He ain't a CB1.
I don't think we want him to be CB1.
Right, but here's the problem. Who is the person you want to be CB1? Because Nate Hobbs...
Jair.
I wouldn't say Nate Hobbs has enough of a track record that you should flat out say
I don't know.
him.
I had a very respected beat writer tell me that he had 10 tackles at a local regional CBS game against Arizona. So I don't know. What does that mean?
What about CV? Carrington Valentine. You became a starter as a seventh-round pick.
Who do they speak more highly of? Valentine or Nixon?
Depends who you ask.
Hafley.
Nixon. But he also speaks very high. I mean, Hafley speaks
Do you
highly.
really want those guys covering A.J. Brown?
Ladarius
Jesse,
Gunter?
great job. This is where I'm trying to get, is that maybe we're wrong about... They've got guys. How good the guys are, I don't know. In a division full of really good guys.
So, Jason, let me ask you this.
On the other side of the ball.
Let me ask you this. We're playing the Minnesota Vikings next week. Who's lining up on Jay Jettis?
I think it's Keyshawn Nixon.
Oh, boy.
Oh, gosh.
So...
And is there going to be... So I'm assuming then you put safety help there, and then you're going to put Valentine on Addison?
I guess. And then you've got Hobbs in the... Now, here is what I do think.
You know what I think is going to be much better this year? I think our tight end coverage... the dude was it Arizona? We played Arizona last year, right? Or is that 2 years ago already? That McBride...
They played Arizona last year.
McBride torched us, had like a monster game. I think with Edgerrin Cooper, I think in their safety play, I think Evan Williams, that will be shored up. I think there is a genuine cause for what's going to happen when we play these. Again, this is that, can we beat Jacksonville? Jacksonville's young wideout had a monster game against us last year. Can we beat the big boys that have these, the Phillies, the Minnesotas, the Detroits? Are we better suited than we were last year because of Hobbs? I certainly hope so. But if you're going to not bring Jair back and let old boy make the play CB1, I feel very confident. While people will respect him, I don't think Jay Jettis is looking at it saying, oh, it's going to be a long day. I think he's saying it's going to be a long day for y'all.
No, I agree. I want to get into this because the point that I originally planned on making, which, again, things take different turns, is that this whole Nate Hobbs versatility thing and the fact that they have Javon Bullard who played in the slot, that Nixon can play in the slot, I am wondering if they are going to play a lot of mixed coverage where guys are lining up all over the place and you're not being guarded by the same guy every snap. There's not going to be there. I can't see them traveling anyone because they don't have a true CB1. I don't think Nate Hobbs, from my extensive film review, appears to be a CB1, but maybe his opportunity comes, and that's exactly what he becomes. I know this. If his opportunity does cash in, well, he's going to be taking a lot of money to the bank, and that bank, of course, is Associated Bank, the official bank of the Packers, but more importantly, they're the official bank of you, because they are mostly about their great customer service. Yes, Packers checking, Badgers checking, Brewers checking, but more importantly, great customer service. Whether it's early pay, whether it's fraud protection, whether it's credit monitoring, they've got everything you need. So go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. We'll talk more about the Packers' options in the defensive backfield next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
You know who I think comes out looking the worst in all of this? Is the Chicago Bears. And let me explain. You have this guy who does not want to be there. He is threatening to nuke the city because he does not want to be a part of your organization. And you tell him, we're drafting you no matter what. He's saying, I want to go to one of your division rivals because I think your coach is the best. And the Bears stand firm and say, I'm drafting you no matter what. In a quarterback-rich draft with a guy who had an up-and-down season at USC the year prior and who is telling you to your face, I don't believe in you and I don't want to be a part of your organization. You risked a huge PR nightmare by drafting this guy when there was all that talent available. That is an indictment on your organization as far as I'm concerned.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
FX presents Welcome to Wrexham.
For the last 4 years, it's been this roller coaster of magic.
The Emmy Award-winning series returns. Come on, Wrexham! With an all-new season.
We're going into a really tough division.
Birmingham are absolute favourites with the arrival of Tom Brady.
It's a friendly competition. Oh! Well, not so friendly.
Imagine the opportunity to beat Tom Brady at sports.
FX's Welcome to Wrexham. All new Thursdays at 9 on FX. Stream on Hulu.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Stars glow for you. Go see the world, cause it's all so brand new. Don't close your eyes, cause your future's ready to shine. It's just a matter of time before we learn how to fly. Welcome to the rhythm of the
Continuing our conversation about the Packers secondary, which has some primary questions to be answered. And my question for you, Tausch, is this. We've all heard the old saying, not a Chiliism. The game room's closed, chance to have a chance. Clowns are funny. Got to have him on at some point this offseason, by the way. You know the old saying about if you have two quarterbacks, then you have none?
I've heard that. Yep.
You know, we spent a lot of time with Derek Ansley and with Jeff Hafley and with Ryan Downard, the safeties coach, the defensive backs coach, talking about all the versatility they have, all the different guys that can play. You know, Javon Bolt, that's safety. They've got all these different guys that actually played for them at safety last year, right? I mean, Evan Williams, Javon Bullard, they both lined up alongside Xavier McKinney. There was a game where Katan Oladapo played there. Zane Anderson started a game there, and they liked what they saw from him. But between that and the corner position, it's great that you have all this versatility and all these guys that you think can play. But what if you don't have any guys that are like top flight guys? Does that mean that maybe that's not that great of a crew or what?
I do think we get caught up a lot with storylines of, oh, this is a good player here, and we overvalue because we see and, you form relationships with guys. And the bottom line is, and I don't know if this was an old Ron Wolfism, but it definitely still carries weight in the big games. You need field tilters. You can't obviously have a field tilter at every spot. It doesn't work. Now, you can get young players that are ascending that haven't been paid yet, but you need guys that are difference makers. And some of these guys, like Xavier McKinney, was a difference maker. I think the hope is that Evan Williams can be a difference maker. Mm-hmm. I think the other hope is that one of these, like a Lucas Van Ness or Rashawn Gary, somebody up there, Devontae Wyatt, will become that difference maker. Because when you're playing subpar teams, and last year is a great example of that, no problems. You beat the teams, you move along, and it's just you keep going. And then moments get bigger as you win. Do you have the guys that rise up to the moment? And right now, this team doesn't. You could say our best two players last year were guys that just got brought in. Who are going to be the best players? I would argue Jordan Love has to be one of those guys. And then I would make an argument that you need a Jaden Reed or someone in that receiving core to elevate themselves. And then I think one of these corners needs to become one of those guys. Because right now, you're right. They're nice players. I think there's a good upside. You feel like they all have roles to fill, but you need one of those guys to emerge as a big-time player. I believe Cooper DeJean had a pick six in the Super Bowl. Did he not?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
So, and, that's one game, but it was a big game, big moment, big-time play. That's how you win. That's Tramon Williams was a guy, like a really good player.
Micah Hyde.
He became that guy because he stepped up in big moments. The interception against Philly, which I think you forget about. The interception against the Atlanta Falcons before the half, took it to the house. Nick Collins was that guy. Charles Woodson obviously was that guy. You can have a nice season with other guys. Can you have a magical big-time season without those guys? And the answer is no. You need guys to elevate into that role, and Philadelphia had guys do that. Saquon Barkley elevated into that game-changing role, and then you looked at their defense. They had guys disrupting and making big plays. Zach Bond became that guy. And I know, Jason, you think the Packers found their guy that you hope is Zach Bond. We'll find out.
Isaiah Simmons, for those of you that don't listen every day.
And I think it'll be more Edger and Cooper. That would be the Zach Bond. But
sure.
Your point is that's how you do it. So, yes, it's cute and fun, and we have a bunch of guys that you're hoping keep going and get better, but eventually it can't just be, Keyshawn Nixon's done a pretty good job for being this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but he needs to be this. CB1 is a big-time – you need a big-time player there. It can't just be a nice player. And I do wonder if that's where we're at.
So you mentioned Tramon Williams. Tramon Williams was not a first-round pick. He was not Charles Woodson.
Nobody wanted him.
Right. He was an undrafted free agent.
Texans.
He was bouncing every Tuesday from team to team to team on tryout visits. So sometimes your CB1, because look, when you guys won the Super Bowl, he was a top 5 corner in the league. When you look at how often that happens, though, it's not typical, right? I mean, there are other stories. He's not the only one to do that, but it's not typical. And so can Kalen King, can Carrington Valentine, can Micah Robinson, their 3 7th-round guys, raise their levels to the point that Tramon Williams did? Maybe. I'm not going to say none of them are capable of that. Can Nixon do that? Can Hobbs walk in after not being a full-time starter in Vegas and suddenly be your CB1? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's good if you have a CB1 that can play inside and outside, but there's no evidence that would indicate that he's capable of that. I'm not saying he can't, but I don't have any proof of his ability to do that, right? So I find myself wondering if maybe I have been guilty of overestimating what they have to work with there.
I'll convict you of that. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
That wide receiver back in the day, I keep forgetting his name, but you had crowned him.
I never, no.
You did some crownage.
Tory Gurley, I never crowned him.
You did a little crowning.
He was an interesting story.
You crowned him.
He was David Martin. He was an off-season story. Oh, this guy, look at how good this guy is in the off-season. He's an all-nighter.
Yourself?
That was me. Yeah, that was me.
Good.
Joe Callahan?
No, I think
he didn't really crown Callahan. He crowned Gurley, though. I remember crowning Gurley. And he got he didn't jump in. He didn't have Janus fever. But his temperature spiked a little bit.
It was probably 99.
It was over a hundo, but it wasn't feverish.
No, I was the what was McCarthy's line? It's lonely being a warrior sometimes. I was the one guy standing up for Devontae Adams when everyone wanted to cut him.
That might have been one of the more embarrassing times as a Packer journalist.
Yeah, it was not good for some. But hey, it worked out well for me. You know what else has worked out great for all of us? Having American Family Insurance with us from the beginning.
Indeed, a proud partner of Wilde Tausch, and for almost 100 years, they've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection, all so that you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com today.
Are you getting, since you're in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, are you getting all fresh sheets today?
No, why?
Well, because I see Coors Light is coming up next, and I just found myself wondering.
I could get you a new one there.
If the mothballed sheet continues.
Might be time.
Riddled with holes and tears.
I think loyalty is a very big trait, and I'm loyal to this sheet. I am.
I'm glad you're loyal to something.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
Oh, sounded
nothing
like
at all.
something.
Tausch will tell us about Coors Light, and we'll talk more about the Packers secondary. Our friend Matt Bowen.
Wilde Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Highlight your long weekend when the Brewers kick off a 3-game series against the Red Sox on Memorial Day, featuring the best way to start summer, Dollar Hot Dog Day. Keep the summer vibes going into the week as kids and seniors can get 50% off select tickets at the game on Wednesday, May 12th.
Let's tell you this, the soup story, way better than that.
Dude.
That soup story, way better.
That was not very funny.
The line much
that?
shorter than the soup story.
Not really.
Because he can't find a place to trade him.
I know, but what's funny about that?
I don't know. I thought it was funny.
No. Okay. Ask Paula, see what she thinks.
She stopped listening. She's grocery shopping now. We'll see where Matt Bowen has Jair Alexander landing. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Looking for a Milwaukee tradition? It's Saz, and for nearly 50 years, Saz's have been serving up award-winning ribs that'll make your taste buds dance. Don't miss our festival-famous mozzarella marinara, the appetizer that put us on the map and keeps Milwaukee coming back for more. Whether you're heading to a game or just catching up with family and friends, make Saz's your place to go. 55th and State. Saz's, where memories are made and stories are shared, one delicious bite at a time. Saz's State House, the finest. A Milwaukee tradition since 1976.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman. The summer months are all about activity, but you can't experience that activity if you have pain in your joints. QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for that joint pain. Don't just take my word for it. There's over 50,000 satisfied patients nationwide. It's truly remarkable how Milwaukee's medical direct, Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her team are using regenerative cell therapy to restore that tissue in your achy joints. They're utilizing biological growth factors, things I've seen with my own two eyes at the Greenfield location. It's a powerful and potent way to give new life to your joints, repairing that old tissue that's causing all the pain. And the best part, with QC Kinetics, there's no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Give yourself the gift of pain-free living and lasting relief with QC Kinetics so you can do all the things you enjoy this summer. Get your free consultation today by calling QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments,
Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I don't know where you are, but I get to keep these memories forever. Oh, I remember. Oh, I remember. Yeah. I still can't hear third eye blind.
All right, we love Matt Bowen on this show. Former, even though he went to Iowa, former classmate of Tausch in the 2000 draft, went one pick before Tom Brady. Former teammate of Tausch, as he made his way to the Packers after, I think he was with the Rams first, if I remember correctly, and then maybe went to Washington after that. But a really smart guy. Now, I want to be clear, though, he is not suggesting like trade compensation or what's this guy worth, right, Jesse? This is him using film, much like I did when the Packers signed Nate Hobbs.
Yeah, you and Matt Bowen.
Very similar. He and I, both sports
Greg
writers.
Cosell,
Yeah,
Jason Wilde, Matt Bowen.
I think I do a pretty good job of making it clear who I am, and I don't pretend to be someone I'm not. But this is him describing places that these players would fit best. He's not getting into the compensation. Is that correct?
Correct. He does kind of look at like who's there already.
Yes. Oh, for sure. So, that's part of the fit.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like there's a component of what the player would be replacing, but not necessarily what the team is giving up to get that player.
Correct.
I guess
That's what I mean. All right. And Clue is not predominantly a card game. So, Jesse, where does Matt Bowen have Jair Alexander landing in a trade?
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Tausch, your thoughts?
Well, I have not, unlike Jason, I have not broken down Chargers' defensive backfield. So
Matt Bowen did. Why don't I read what he said
that's a good
for you?
idea.
Huh? Per Matt Bowen, ESPN NFL analyst, the Chargers signed Dante Jackson to a 2-year deal and Benjamin St. Juste to a 1-year contract this offseason. However, if Alexander is available in a trade, he would be seen as an upgrade in Jesse Minter's defensive system.
They got a defensive coordinator named Jesse?
Yeah.
I.E.?
Nope, Jesse the right way. The Chargers are zone heavy, playing both single high cover 3 and split safety schemes. Alexander has the play instincts and foot quickness to match routes, and his transition speed allows him to make plays on the ball. Alexander has intercepted 12 passes and broken up 57 in his career.
I think from a Packer fan standpoint, it would be ideal. Send him out west where it's not a big deal. I think one of the big holdups, especially when Green Bay either didn't get the trade comp or Brian Gutekunst wanted to get rid of Jair, I just don't think he wanted to go to a divisional team. I don't think Goody wanted any part of that.
He didn't want him in Detroit.
I don't think he wanted him in Detroit. I don't think he wanted him in Minnesota. And probably even maybe Chicago. I don't know. I think that has probably been a part of the holdup. And then obviously now as the draft finished and the humility part of this saga moved along, Jair had to start reevaluating, even though I think initially he probably wanted a fresh start, and I think that's what Goody wanted. Now both parties are probably looking at it saying, convenience. You know our system. We know that you're still a good player. You're not getting the money. You're not getting us any comp. Let's figure this out. If you're going to send him somewhere, the Chargers a good place to just kind of be like, all right. Like Casey Hayward went and had a really nice run there. And like the diehard Packer fans were like, I should have kept him. Well, he was hurt a bunch. It's not a similar situation to Jair's. Jair had more pelts on the wall, obviously, than before that. But Casey Hayward was a miss. We should have kept him, even though I am not going to be one of these revisionist history guys saying, oh, well, everybody knew you should keep him. He couldn't stay healthy. He flourished somewhere else. That happens. Jair, I do believe Jair's best football has already been played. I think he still has an opportunity to play some good football, but there was a stretch, and this isn't just when I was depoting him, that I think he was one of the best corners in the league. Is he ever going to get back to that point? I hope he does, but I would bet that he wouldn't.
All right, I do think that there are some other pieces to this story that I'm intrigued by that I want to get to.
When is this resolved?
The mandatory minicamp is in 3 weeks.
They can waive that.
Training camp opens in late July, like July 25th-ish.
Yeah, they can waive that.
At what point are you just spinning your wheels and wasting your time?
Now. The wheels are spinning now. Whether or not, you know how a lot of times you get all that mud, then you go get a 2x4 and you shove it in the back wheel?
I've never done that,
so you can get some traction?
I've never done that.
When is there going to be any traction? Right now, you're right. It is a mud spinning operation. You got to get you a big old 2x6 and shove that in that mud pit and let him get a little traction so you can get some grip and get out of there.
I thought it was
Either he's coming back or he's not. Yeah. When is the 2x6 conversation happening?
Tausch will tell us when he thinks.
No, I don't know. You're our insider. You're the one talking to all those folks.
Brett comes to you for the insights.
Yeah, I just told you a couple of options and you poo-pooed them. Like, but you really want him coming to training camp?
Yes.
And not participating because you haven't decided if you want him or not?
No,
you got to decide before
Jason,
then.
He ain't coming anywhere until you get a contract figured out. So I'm asking, when is that 2x6 going to get shoved in there so that the contract and everything matches up? Because he ain't. We've already discussed this. The reason he's not working out is because if he comes in and drops a weight on his foot, the Packers are on the hook. They're not doing that.
Correct.
Then the question is, if you're Jair, do you think about doing that?
And then having a Coors Light afterward.
Don't be afraid to drop that 45-pound plate. If I bust a toe, my $18 million is on the books. That's why the Packers aren't letting him in.
Correct.
When is the 2x6 moment?
I think we passed it already, honestly. I can't believe he's still on the team. Get it done.
Well, the wheels are spinning. Mud's flying. I don't smell any 2x6s coming. But I do smell some Coors Light brewed with that 3-step cold process. Oh, and I had a couple this weekend over golf, over a nice warm bowl of some soup that I didn't order. Coors Light brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged. So it's made to chill, and make sure those mountains are blue. That's when you know Coors Light's cold-activated bottles and cans are chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand. When I need a moment to chill, celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company out Golden, Colorado.
Matt Bowen has another idea for another player that is in limbo, much like Jair Alexander.
Will he be in Lambeau?
We'll talk about it next.
Ooh.
It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab,
that's his favorite.
And the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at UWHoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
This is a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
On Thursday, May 22nd, join Sharp Literacy for the 9th annual Unwrapped Milwaukee fundraising event from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based educational program serving thousands of urban elementary students in 47 Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine schools. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
Hey, want to make your next meal a little less ordinary? Well, head to Quick Trip. Hey, we are so back serving up our legendary No Ordinary Chicken. Yeah, your dinner is hand-breaded, fried to perfection, ready to eat for tonight's dinner. Or you can buy it cold, sealed fresh for tomorrow's lunch. You know, we love to make life easier for you. This isn't just any chicken. It's Quick Trip's No Ordinary Chicken. Stop in your local Quick Trip today and taste the difference.
Spring is here, and your local IKEA store is rolling the savings outdoors for their annual sidewalk sale. Visit IKEA Schaumburg, Bolingbrook, or Oak Creek from May 9th through the 26th for a wide variety of furniture and home furnishing accessories at big discounts. New products are being added throughout the sale, so stop in often, and don't miss IKEA's Friday Mystery Deals May 16th and 23rd, available in-store to IKEA family members. Not an IKEA family member yet? Sign up for free at ikea.com/US. Save big at the IKEA annual sidewalk sale, going on now through May 26th.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
So when do you think the 2x6 moment is? Like this, as one NFL,
what is camp open?
As one NFL executive said to me, this is why you put roster bonuses in contracts.
Yeah, you want the stuff done, but then he'd be gone. Yeah, the roster bonus would be gone.
It's true. It's true.
So this might be a case where it ends up fitting. I don't think it'll be before the mini camp, which is probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah,
this will have to happen. 20th of July, somewhere in that area, because he's not. At some point, you have to say he's with us or he's not, because you want to start getting reps, and then there could be a case where you waive all of his. Okay, we're not going to fine you, and maybe you keep his rights in case there's an injury. That could be a part of it, but then his negotiating power gets up. You want this resolved. July 20th needs to be the blank or blank deal. And if it's not, move it along. But you need to go grab that 2x6 and be ready to shove. And if you want, get the tires gripped up and let's go. If you don't, let's move it along. That's where I think this whole scenario is. July 20 needs to be the date that this thing gets wrapped up.
Blank or blank?
Yes, sir.
I think we get what he means.
I think the other one is off the pot, right?
Blank or blank. Wait, no. Yeah.
We don't know what he means. Jesse, the other thing that I found interesting in this piece from our friend Matt Bowen is that right after he gets done discussing the good fit for Jair with the Los Angeles Chargers, he addresses another.
Is it now Jair? Did he change his pronunciation?
Sometimes I think if you actually look on the pronunciation.
Jair?
It's Jair.
Why have we been saying Jair for
Because
years?
that's how I've always said it. But I appreciate you once again pointing that out, Geriad. I am curious about the other guy who is also in limbo with his team.
Are you going to French up his name?
Trey Hendrickson.
Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson.
Is there a worse dessert to try and free a croissant? Croissants, you either eat them fresh or they're done. Like you could have day-old
Baked
bread.
Alaska.
You could have a day-old donut. Nobody's interested in a day-old croissant. Are you?
No, I'm not.
If it's glazed.
A lot of times I'm not interested in fresh croissants.
Oh, come on.
No?
It is the most complicated, beautiful bread made.
A little dry.
A croissant? Not if it's done right.
First of all, complicated dessert bakery item, Racine Danish Kringle.
Well, no doubt. But I'm
And
saying when
delish
you
as
start
well.
looking at the complexity
The layers.
and the fact that you can peel it and there's the hot and you can stuff it, you can a croissant.
You can peel it, you can stuff it.
A croissant.
Get yourself a croissant.
A croissant has to be done proper, and it is as delicate. There's nothing else like it.
Mark Tauscher here for croissants.
They're hard to make. Well, you can make them, but it's a
Never
hard deal
made
to
a
make.
croissant.
You don't know what I do. You know what else I love that takes forever?
You've never-
Sourdough. Sourdough is the goat of breads.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, we all agree with that.
Trey Hendrickson.
What if they made a sourdough croissant?
Well, there's a croissant that is glazed that my buddy Clussy at his wedding had, and they call them cronuts. It is a absolute piece of heaven.
It is.
Cronuts.
I would agree with it. Yes, very good. Yep, agreed.
After being
Do
granted
you want
permission to
cronuts
seek a
stuffed
trade in
with
March,
anything like a donut, though?
Hendrickson is refusing to play with the Bengals until he receives a new contract.
A
writes
Boston
Matt
cream
Bowen.
cronut.
If no deal
Always
comes
been a
together,
sucker for raspberry.
Green
I
Bay
love
would be
raspberry.
the perfect landing spot for him. Wow.
I thought you were more of a blueberry guy.
I do like blueberry, too, but on a donut. Raspberry and a donut. Trey Hendrickson ain't coming to Green Bay.
Perfect landing spot per Matt Bowen.
He would
Pair
be
well
awesome.
with Rashawn Gary
Listen,
and Jeff Hafley's scheme.
Guys, he'd be great. And I think if he was an unrestricted free agent, again, Goody will do one. I don't think for someone that is very hesitant to bring in 30-year-olds, very hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to give up a pick and then pay him top dollar. This is all about money. Trey Hendrickson wants money. He should get money. Pay that man his monies. But it ain't going to be in Green Bay. Just don't see it. Don't see the compensation and the pay. I have a hard time seeing him pay him $35 to $37 million, whatever that number needs to be. I have a really hard time seeing Goody doing that. And then here's a second or third round pick for your troubles. No, it's just not happening, Cap. Now, if Trey Hendrickson says, I will play anywhere else but Cincy for this year, now I'm interested. Now I might sprinkle something at him. Now I want him on that team for some of the reasons we discussed at the wide receiver spot. Trey Hendrickson would be able to teach Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, because Trey Hendrickson's not Julius Peppers or Lawrence Taylor. He is somebody that has gotten it done by figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. I agree
That's
with
the
that.
guy you want in the room. So if it gets to the point where it's percolating and the Cincinnati Bengals aren't getting him to play and the Green Bay Packers are 7-1 or whatever I thought they'd be if they can beat Detroit, and the Bengals are struggling and they're saying, all right, man, this is a stalemate. Trey's got that hammy that just won't quit. I got to get him out. All right, we'll throw a sprinkler at him and we'll bring him on as a 1-year rental, but we ain't going to pay him $35 million a year over a 4-year. It's just not going to happen. But a sprinkler, I could see him coming in.
We will leave our conversation about Jair, whatever you want to call him. Ja. Maybe it's just easier to call him Ja.
Yama.
Yogging. Yeah.
Yamas.
All right. I did write about this Zach Tom situation, and it's getting social media feedback. I am very curious.
Has Packadoodle,
Count Pacula.
Pacula apologized.
I'll be honest. I have not heard from him
Count
since.
Pacula, apologize to Jason Wilde, please. I think that's fair. I don't mind that Count Pacula came at you, but you came back at him, and you were right. So, Count Pacula, we appreciate your listening. I like your feedback most of the time. Let us hear that you're...
Also retired Navy fella, your thoughts.
I do like retired Navy fella. I think he's got gumption, and I love gumption. And gumbo. If she'd have brought gumbo, I'd have been more than happy with a cup of gumbo. I would have. That spicy sausage in there.
What about paella? Do you like paella?
It's a little dry. I don't love paella.
Like a croissant.
Croissants aren't dry if they're done right.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch mercifully begins in 2 minutes. Stick around.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer, providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no interest financing for 12 months. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
It's what you wait for all week. The three-pointers, the rebounds, the thrill of every shot. Win or lose, it's the hope that keeps you coming back. The dream that this time, it might be your year. And so you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when the pressure's on, your support is everything. That's why the NBA store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
I'm not
Tausch begins right on time at 11:08. And it begins with the mystery, the riddle, the enigma that is the Zach Tom situation. And I use the term situation because I don't know what else to call it, Tausch, because, and look, does this show have an inherent right tackle bias, given that it stars a right tackle, that our favorite guest every week, Brian Bulaga, is a former right tackle? Maybe, but we can joke about my film study, but when you two talk about Zach Tom in the way that you two have talked about Zach Tom, that carries a heck of a lot more weight than when I talk about Zach Tom. And I am perplexed, befuddled, confused that Adam Stenavich, former offensive line coach, offensive coordinator.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? This obviously is a topic. I'm tweeting this out because I want to get a little bump. The Zach Tom, is it the only question? It will be with a big fat new extension in tow. TOW. Is that the right terminology with my Zach Tom?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
What is
continue.
TOW? Like
tow, in tow.
Like a tow truck?
But it's not tow like my big toe. So I'm
I've
using
just never
it right,
heard that expression
because I don't want
Yeah,
Jason
sure you
like
have.
re-editing me
With your kids in tow, that means you're bringing them along.
Tow truck. TOW is the correct terminology there.
Yes, Tausch.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. Continue.
You lead me to believe that you might not have been listening to what I was saying.
No, I was. But
while
I
you were
also
crafting
I have
your
not
tweet.
been tweeting as much.
And you spelled Zach Tom's name wrong.
I did?
Oh, boy.
Oh, I edited it. Okay.
You can edit it. Yeah, you've got the blue check.
Oh, yeah.
How do you spell it?
ZACH.
I always spell it with just a C, but okay.
Zach Taylor, coach of the Bengals, spells it with just a ZAC.
Zach Showalter's just ZAK.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're going to ask me to edit. Do they even let you edit on here?
They do. Can you post a poll while you're at it?
What? They're not letting me edit it. How do I edit?
We got 3 content minds here that are capable of getting in there and helping you with this during the next commercial break.
Jason,
You'll be all right.
As you're talking Zach Tom,
Yeah, it's 60 minutes.
I understand all of what you reported last week and your the quotes from Stenavich and everything else. I get all of that. Zach Tom's going to be your starting right tackle. Zach Tom is a really good player.
Okay, then all right. So then tell me this. Adam Stenavich gets up there. He says, we're going to have a lot of competition at both tackle positions with trying to find out who our best 5 are. Then I thought, as he said that, I thought, oh, well, he's just saying that. And then the very next sentence, however it shakes out, left tackle, right guard, there's a lot of good competition. So if Zach Tom...
Just edited it. Yeah, boy.
You figured it out?
Edited it. I hope I spelled Zach right now. It's with an H, you said, right?
It is ZACH.
God, I
Zach.
am really proud of myself. That doesn't happen often
That is a
for
big
me.
step for you.
That I would be. I'll tell you this. I'm shocked I pulled this off. All right, continue with Steno.
So if this is a guy that is a core guy that we have been talking about getting an extension, and by the way, and we're going to hear from Zach because this conversation from Steno made me go back in my archives to the audio of an interview that I did with him at Locker Room Cleanout Day, and I want you to listen to this coming up. But if we're thinking of him as an extension candidate, as a guy who had the highest grades of his career from Pro Football Focus while playing, coming off of a torn left pectoral muscle, for a guy who was the 3rd vote getter for All-Pro at right tackle, which, by the way, this never happened when you were playing, but now they differentiate between left tackle and right tackle. It was Penei Sewell, Lane Johnson, and then Zach Tom was 3rd.
Pretty good company. Pretty good company.
Well, then,
John Ritter.
Then explain me. Come and knock on our door.
R.I.P.
Explain to me why he is being lumped into the left tackle and right guard competitions when it's not like he said that all 5 positions were up for grabs.
Yep.
He did not say center was between Jacob Monk and Elton Jenkins.
Sure.
He did not say that the guy they gave $77 million to, Aaron Banks, is competing for the left guard spot.
No, he didn't.
So why is Zach Tom in a different situation?
I was surprised when last week's quotes came out, probably like you were, and it was a little bit startling, but I think it's two things. He didn't finish the season strong. He did not have a good playoff game, and that burns in people's minds. I don't know, how he played against, the Bears and finished the season. It was not his best finish to the year. You can go through all those other stats. So I think that is prong one of the two-pronged of why. Interesting question, why they are doing this. I think the other part of it is he's probably hearing, and I'm sure maybe his representatives or people have been, clamoring around about this, and maybe I won't be coming in if this. These are all speculative. I am not a reporter. I've never said I would be. I'll tell you what I hear. This isn't something I've heard. But I can understand Zach Tom, who's played on a rookie deal and now is hearing this. You want to stave that off. I think the Packers have 3 guys that are going to be unrestricted free agents on their group. Mm-hmm. And you want to preach competition. You want to preach, hey, what we did last year wasn't good enough. And if you're going to be handing out a big, fat new deal, you wouldn't probably be doing this. But I still believe Zach Tom, I think they're looking to see how is he going to respond to this. Is he going to pout or is he going to come in? Is he going to work? And if he has a good camp, I could understand where this all goes to. But I think the first prong of it is he didn't finish the season great. And I think the second prong of this is you're not owed anything yet. And maybe being a little stavey of don't be thinking about holding out. Don't be doing this. You have to go win your job. That's a risky game. That is a risky game as far as how they do it. But that would be my own hunch as why those quotes came out the way that they did.
All right, so in the next segment, I want to play have Jesse play some of the audio that I sent him from my conversation with Zach Tom. But anything to this point that has given you the impression that Zach Tom is the type, and you, look, be honest, you have played with guys who have gotten complacent. You have played with guys that thought they were owed more than what they were getting. You've certainly experienced that yourself. Have you had any indication that he is a guy that is going to be complacent and needs the fire lit under him? Or isn't, like, this idea, I'm sorry, this strikes me as manufactured competition. And I want to know why. Is it because they're trying to improve their bargaining position on an extension? Well, we could just start Anthony Belton there instead.
Yeah, but everybody knows.
I don't get it. And I feel like it's very rare that I don't get it.
Yeah, that is something, again, where you have the outside noise and people just talking. And then you have the inside guys, because there obviously is some concern. I would not have said that, but you don't do what they're doing if there's not something
correct
there. So is it, like last year we were wondering, what the hell are they doing with Sean Ryan? Well, they tried to light a fire under his you-know-what, and it did, and it worked.
And it worked.
So maybe they're going back to the let's light a fire under their keister and see what happens. Not everybody's the same, though. And I don't know. I think Zach Tom is looking at it being like, I've played some pretty doggone good football for you. And by the way, I came back from a torn pec and fought through some stuff. I didn't have to, and I'm getting paid league minimum.
Yeah.
So if you don't think money plays a part in all of this, you're just again, you want to be one of those ostriches in a sand. That's great. Good. I'm not going to do that. I'm looking up and I'm saying, all right, I will be shocked if Zach Tom is not your starting right tackle when they go to play Detroit.
I would be too. My issue is why are we having this conversation?
Jason, it is a great question, and I think when you is Zach Tom up in Green Bay? Did we see photos of him?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so in that photo gate, he's there. How about we just ask him?
Yeah, well, I look forward to the first OTA that's open. That is a little under 2 weeks away.
Still 2 weeks?
Yeah.
What are they going to do? What are they doing? 3
practice.
Weeks of practice now? Is it?
Yeah, that's it.
And it sounds like from LaFleur when he was talking to us, they're getting out of there early too.
They are. Indeed.
I think early Memorial Day is throwing everybody off.
I think it's early. I think it's the Labor Day timing. The fact that they're starting the season on the 7th. Last year they started the season on the 13th, right? All right. I want you to hear the two things Zach said to me during locker room cleanout. We'll do that next because, again, this doesn't sound like a guy who's complacent. This sounds to me like a guy who pushed through a painful injury that affected his play and a guy who's realistic about his performance. Did you have something that you would like to tell us about right now?
Indeed. I always love talking about UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here. For every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. People ask me, OT, why'd you join UW Credit Union? Is to keep your banking local? Yep. Member first service? Yep. Great perks like early payday? Yeah. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I love that fella, little cute face. And if you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom will make you do crazy things, but man, does this make sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions to apply.
We'll hear from Zach Tom next. It's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 20th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Baltimore Orioles.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 20th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Who's looking for a better deal? Well, Cousin Sub's $10 meal deals just got better. Available online only. Order your 7.5-inch meal deal today and upgrade it with a large fountain beverage, large fry, regular shake, or regular Wisconsin cheese curds. Prices vary by item from $1 to $2 a piece. Make it better and make it your own way. Now that's a better deal. For further details or to order, go to cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available online at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Save big on your landscaping project at Menards. We're your destination for concrete landscaping blocks. Whether you're installing a patio or adding a new retaining wall, we have the largest in-stock selection ready to take home today. Plus, get free estimates fast using our landscape design program in store or on Menards.com. Save big on landscape blocks when you shop at Menards. And check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One Collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One Collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Why settle for just the job when you could have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee new car dealer members have service, technician, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.jobs. That's ADAMM.jobs.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Slow down on Monday, not a sound on Wednesday, yeah, might get loud on Friday, but on Saturday.
All right, Jesse was nice enough to edit a couple of clips that I sent him from my conversation at Locker Room
How
Cleanout.
about the breaking news? The old Eagles giving old boy a big fat new extension. Their head football coach. I ain't mad about that.
Nick Sirianni.
So for those of you
he
that
almost got fired. Fired guy last year. Remember they went 2-2 and he's barking at the fans and yelling at Philly fans and barely beating Cleveland. He goes, wins a championship, new extension. It's crazy how winning solves all those things, isn't it?
Can you have a Super Bowl winning coach and not give him an extension?
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, we've seen coaches get fired after winning Coach of the Year.
Yes. So, follow-up question. You just said you're not mad.
It's crazy how they announce these things. If this happened in Green Bay, it'd be covert, and you'd hear about it 6 months later. It still amazes me. I hope Ed Policy does away with that policy. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy.
That is still dumbfounding to me that you have your star head coach that everybody loved, the winningest coach in a history of the league.
His first 3 years, yeah.
And you're keeping it like a Friday news dump covertly. Oh, I don't know if we signed him or not. I don't know if we signed Goody to an extension. What? I want someone. The Zach Tom thing is dumbfounding to me. That is dumbfounding on dumbfounding.
It's like ice cream on top of ice cream.
Philly couldn't be more. They are shouting from the rooftops. We got our guys. Green Bay is sitting there saying, I don't know. Hey, you want to say something, or well, maybe we'll just put out like a hidden newsletter about it. Somebody has to explain that one to me. Why would you do that, Jason, as a media expert? Does LaFleur have an extension? I don't know.
Yeah.
Goody got an extension? I don't know. Maybe.
Was that 2 years ago now?
It is crazy town. It makes no sense.
Clearly. It still bothers you.
Well, does it make sense?
It doesn't.
Jesse?
But
it's pretty wild that was the case a couple of years ago, yeah.
I'm looking on Twitter, Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, but on all the other stuff, they are literally shouting from rooftops.
No, they're not literally shouting
light
from
poles.
rooftops. No, they're not.
They're greasing up light posts saying, Nick Sirianni's our coach. We gave him a fat new extension. I'm done.
So, Zach Tom.
The fact you're not more curious and intrigued by that bothers me.
I was. It was 2 years ago now. I've moved on. Let's move on to Zach Tom, who said this about how his 2024 season played out.
It was a mixed bag, a lot of good, some bad. I think I played better this year than I did last year, but I still think there were obviously moments where I could have been better, and that just comes with the NFL. You just gotta, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and then you get better. At this point, gotta get my body right, gotta get back to a normal off season. Obviously, last year I had torn my pec, and I wouldn't say it affected me. Well, it did, but it's just one of those things that it kind of threw a wrench into things and kind of gave me some adversity. It didn't allow me to work my technique as much as I wanted to in the off season. Obviously this year now it's about getting my body back right, getting my pec back full 100%, and getting ready for next year.
I wouldn't say it affected me. Oh, well, yeah, it affected me. Now, the second part of this is what I want you to explain, having played the position, because he basically admits that he could not play the way he normally would because of the pec. And I wonder why this isn't part of the calculus from the Packers, who are basically opening up his job for competition.
I don't feel like I played with enough confidence with my outside hand, and I think that showed in some of my technique, and it got me beat this year quite often. But yeah, that was the main thing. Obviously, everything else I was doing, but that's just what comes with the NFL. Like, your knees are gonna hurt, your back, everything else is gonna hurt. That was just one of those things that I didn't really trust my outside hand as much because of that. And so now this off season, I got to get back to getting that thing back to full strength, and not hopefully, but when we come back, I'll be back to, what I know I can be.
Somebody's shaking dice behind him there? It sounded
I
like
think
dice
people are
shaking.
cleaning out their lockers. So
this happened almost as long ago as LaFleur casually
we can't
announcing.
talk about that because it happened 2 years ago. You don't want to study anything and understand why an organization does what they do.
Is that what we were doing? We were studying it?
I'm asking why. Like, it just blows my mind. We did it when it happened. I still am wondering what the deal was. Hey, let's go buy a brand new, beautiful car and let's bury it in the garage, put things over, and don't tell anybody about it. Okay, yeah, that's not weird behavior. Whatever. In this case, I wrote down as I was listening intently. He doesn't want to give excuses, but he also wants to tell you what happened. And I think from a player's standpoint, I admire the fact he didn't do that during the season. He waited till the offseason. He wants to give you an idea of what he is dealing with. And again, I always tell you, it doesn't matter because when you sign up to go play, nobody gives a rip. Oh, your outside arm is – yeah, that sucks, but that's golf. That's how it goes. And I think from Zach's standpoint, if you're a puncher, you can use that outside hand. That will kind of slow down some of the speed rush. It makes guys offensive tackle is not complicated. You get to your junction point before the D lineman does, you're going to win. When you don't, then you need to have the recovery skills. You need to have, sometimes that outside arm, you ride, you kind of shove wide, you push. He did have, and you call it kind of a soft edge. Some people will say turnstile. He was not turnstiling. But you have a soft edge. Quarterbacks feel that, and then you get into some trouble, and then you overset because you don't feel strong enough on that outside arm, and then you get beat inside. And the cardinal rule of offensive tackle play is you don't get beat inside. So it all comes together, and then, when you have that, people watch that on film. They know you have a pec. They know that your outside arm isn't what it used to be, and it all factors into maybe not having the production that you were hoping for.
So I appreciate you explaining the outside arm thing, because to me, that sounds like he's playing basically with one arm tied behind his back.
It's not that bad, but what it is, like, you can get 50 to 60% of your strength back on something, but you have to displace. When you're trying to slow down speed rushers, you're moving your feet, and it doesn't take a lot. You shock that right arm, which is his outside hand as a right tackle. You don't need to displace a guy by 30 yards. You move him a yard, now you can catch up with your feet. And he's out of position, and it's ball game. It only takes, boom. You disrupt and get him off of his spot. He has to regain, recapture, and what did the young defensive line coach say? The fight zone? Is that what he called it?
Yeah, fight zone. Yes, sir.
You get him outside the fight zone. He's got to fight to get back in the fight zone. That's where you want to live as an O-lineman. I want to keep you, and I used to call it the junction point, not to be mistaken for the junction boys where they don't give you any water.
No water, yeah.
The junction point, you get to that spot and get them off of that spot, you're going to win 95% of your pass pro. When you don't have the outside arm and a little bop, that gives you that soft edge, and then that opens up all of the counter moves that the really good pass rushers have. And as an O-lineman, you want to be dictating what they're going to do. When they get to their point in their fight zone in position that they want to be in, they're dictating if they're going to spin and if they're going to bowl you or if they're going to one-arm stab you. That's the difference. And Zach Tom couldn't dictate what he was hoping to be able to more last year, and that's probably why he didn't have the consistent production that we're accustomed to seeing from him in his year 2.
So if you're a coach and you know that was a major factor in his performance and he still played pretty well, then again, my question is, after
maybe he didn't play as well as we thought.
You think you and Bulaga's out together, your evaluations are wrong?
I think his end of the season left a stain, just like the end of the season for the interior part of the O-line left it in Goody's hands to say, I am not doing this again. We are making changes. This didn't do it enough because I think they also look at it and understand injuries and all the other things. But I think Brian Gutekunst is looking at it saying, you know what, let's get a little bit goofy here. Let's put some pressure on to see how guys respond, especially guys in contract years that we, are going to try and work out deals with. I would bet donuts to dollars that they still want Zach Tom to be their starting right tackle or a offensive lineman if they move him to center. And maybe that's what's holding up. They are no longer being as proactive as they have been in the past. Maybe they're looking at it saying, we're going to let this thing shake out for a year before we do anything. And we're going to kind of put the challenge to Zach rather than Zach's group saying, well, he's your right tackle. You don't have any other options. You're going to pay what we want. And that is no longer, it doesn't seem like that is going to be an option that's going to be tenable for Zach and his team.
All right, last thing on this, because we talked about it with the wide receivers and Jesse has that clip of Chewy saying, I'm not playing. Is there a downside to all this? The downside of creating the drama in your wide receiver room, the drama or the downside of telling a guy that should feel at least some measure of not complacency, but security going into a contract year that you want to sign him to an extension being announced now that his job is an open Is there any downside to that? Or is it just the old pressure creates diamonds, iron sharpens iron, competition is good no matter what?
I think I would say of all the rooms in the building, O-line would be the one spot you can push a little, but you have to also understand who you're dealing with. If you try doing this with Elton Jenkins, he's going to tell you to blank off. Like, you're going to have to work and figure some things out, especially when you're moving him and saying he can be an all-pro center.
Yeah.
The fact that they're not saying that about Zach Tom, Rob Domofsky did, but that doesn't mean everybody else is. It does make me wonder what they're feeling about him, and I'm sure Zach probably feels that too. Well, that's odd. I thought they really liked me and want me to be a part of this team moving forward. There's always there's nobody that's ever complacent in this league. Brett Favre wasn't complacent.
Cletus Hunt was complacent.
You're always under fire to produce. Always. And when there's money on the line, it's even ramped up that much more. And that's the scenario Zach Tom's in right now.
The scenario we're in is Wonelli is next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, You name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and More is family-owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality. Listen up, gentlemen. You're fighting an unfair battle. Studies show testosterone levels in men have plummeted by 25% in just 2 decades. That's why you're struggling with energy, muscle, and drive. But here's a game changer. Mentality's FDA-approved treatments boost testosterone by 30% on average. Imagine reclaiming the vitality your grandfathers had. Picture turning heads, dominating your career, and feeling unstoppable again. Don't settle for today's normal. Seize the day at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Brewers fans, this is your chance for you and your crew to cheer on our crew while they're on the road this summer. Visit brewers.com/ExploreMN to enter for your chance to win Game Day Getaway Sweepstakes. Presented by Explore Minnesota. One lucky winner will receive 4 tickets to the games on July 21st and 22nd in Minneapolis, 2 nights of hotel accommodations, and a $1,500 Visa gift card. Don't wait, the sweepstakes ends May 29th. No purchase necessary. See brewers.com/ExploreMN for official rules.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
The Brewers lose 2 of 3 to the Minnesota Twins over the weekend at AmFam Field. But in their lone win, the game was iced late by defensive play from Jackson Churio.
Here's a fly ball, left center field. Churio on the run, at the track, at the wall, jumped up. Jackson Churio brought it back! Oh! Jackson elevated above the wall, and he pulled back a home run.
The Brewers enter this week in 4th place in the NL Central, looking to start to climb their way out. They're at home for a 3-game set against the Baltimore Orioles, Monday through Wednesday.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Start your summer with a spotless ride at Tsunami Express Car Wash. Hey, it's Brad Nortman from KBN. This Memorial Day, Tsunami Express Car Wash is offering an incredible deal. From May 19th to May 26th, get your first month of any membership plan for just $10. Plus, unlock access to the Member Fast Lane. And of course, use Tsunami Express's free amenities, including vacuums and mat cleaners. This Memorial Day sale is only available May 19th through May 26th. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com/Memorial Day.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Landworks handles projects of all sizes. From a cozy pocket patio lush with greenery to a grand outdoor hosting space and everything in between. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all of your landscaping needs. The Landworks team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian. Taste what all the screamin' is about.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Time now for George's favorite part of the show, Usher George. Was he at the cribbage giveaway?
He was not. No.
Time now for Wonelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Wonelli
on Wilde Tausch.
I don't think it's prisoner of the moment to say this.
Oh, boy.
Every time you say something like that, we end up saying it is the thing you're saying it isn't.
There have been a lot of great giveaways in American Family Field history.
Giannis jerseys. ESPN
Giannis
Milwaukee.
baseball jerseys.
Awesome.
The original Bob Uecker bobblehead they did in like 2002 where he's wearing a black leather jacket with a microphone.
The one that actually he does, I have it down here, where it's actually got a little like voice chip in it, and it plays some of his greatest
those
calls.
are good.
Is even better.
The Uecker alarm clock. Euchre,
I have that here.
The Uecker 8-ball.
The Uecker alarm clock. I hope they say, get up, get out of bed, go. Is that what they did? That's smart.
Get up, get out of here, gone. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Given the lines of fans that were 3 hours in advance, like in the left field corner, the line was wrapped down under that bridge that goes back toward the parking lot, under the highway. That's how far these lines were stacked up for the Brewers 620 WTMJ cribbage board giveaway on Saturday night. Might be the greatest giveaway in American Family Field history. Given the hype going into it and the delivery and the repurposable use of it forever and ever, like people are going to be able to play cribbage on those boards for decades.
That's
if
fair.
you keep them around and in good condition.
Yep.
Like a Uecker bobblehead, any of the bobbleheads, like you kind of put them on a case and then they go away for a bit, and Jason shows them on his video stream every day with us.
Mm-hmm.
The Uecker alarm clock kind of has its,
it's kitschy.
Yeah, you're not going to use that forever.
It does, just to clarify, it does say, get up, get out of bed. So you are correct.
Smart business, but
I just played it with muted.
The Giannis jersey, you'll wear it out over time.
Jesse, I don't. I agree with you. It is a great giveaway.
How much did that hurt?
No, it didn't.
Sounded like it.
I wanted to. I think from a prisoner of the moment standpoint, I'm always leery of that. The points you made, and the fact that this will be something that people will, hopefully, if you're not into cribbage, all of a sudden it's like the butterfly effect of this. The father-son, the mother-daughter, the father, all of it. You now will probably say, what is cribbage? Oh, I'd like to learn that. Oh, this game is blank and awesome. Oh, this is great. Well, let's pull out a board. Oh, I remember when we went to that. What a cool giveaway. It has all the makings of everything you're looking for in a giveaway. Kudos to our teammates at WTMJ for doing this along with the Brewers. It is the greatest giveaway in the history of American Family Field giveaways.
So are we limiting it to the period, or is it the history of the Brewers stadium giveaways? Because
so I mean, I'm old. I'm only old enough to remember the AmFam Field / Miller Park giveaways. Like 2001 is about when I became what I like to say, a conscious sports fan.
Well, in the 70s, Jason, were they giving away
here's why I
packs
asked.
of heaters and
cigarette
lighters?
Here's why I asked, and I think I have one somewhere in the garage. They gave out, when I was a kid, full-length bats.
That's such a horrible idea.
That you could then use in your Little League game. They were presented by.
Boy, would that be nice? Now instead of dropping $250 for a drop three.
I don't think we had drop threes back in the day. We didn't have those types of measurements. But it was presented by a soda company, and it was the bat was green with red lettering on it. And it was a full-fledged, 32-inch bat that you could.
Yeah, it's not I get what you're saying. It's really cool. This is better.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not better. I'm just saying.
Are you going to make it a trifecta? Are you going to join the club? And this never happens on this show. When you make a bold statement, and Jesse said, anytime we start off a sentence with, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, it almost always is a palm. Are you jumping on this and saying, I agree with the boys?
Okay, so here's the one problem I have. How many did they give away?
25,000.
Okay. There are already like 100, and thanks to Pipe Jim for the heads up on this. There are already like 100 of them on eBay.
How much are they going for?
Somewhere between 100, 120. They are many of them are being bidded upon as opposed to just a buy it now price. But I've got one here for $71. That's 9 bids in with a long time to go still. So yeah, it's a great idea. I love it. And I agree with you, it's the greatest giveaway. I am not going to disagree. I'm going to join the club.
Wow. Well, what a hootenanny. We got a little hootenanny going on out there.
As I now go through the ones that there's already 94.
A 15-4 and a 3-card run for 6.
A grade 8.
I don't know how to play cribbage, so I think that's what you just did was a cribbage call.
Grade 8.
And knobs is 9.
But 94 of them have already sold on eBay. I don't see one that's sold for less than $75, and some $135.
So here's the deal: you have to buy a ticket to get in, and I know there's giveaways and all the other stuff. You have to get a ticket, and you got to wait in line for 3 hours.
Your time is valuable.
You're gonna make
Everybody was tailgating in line. They brought their Coors Lights while they're in line.
You're making $30 on that. Is that about what you're gonna make?
Yeah, it's a net profit, but
I mean, if you're still going to the game,
if you're going to the game, but I'm telling you, I always was amazed. You go to these bobblehead nights, and there are people just going there, just taking bags of bobbleheads and going to their car.
They're going in and out and in and out.
All right, then, if that's what you like.
Usher George saw many of those back in his day, and I was one of them a couple of times.
Well, I agree with Jesse. Make sure you mark the tape. I'm on that team as well.
This is fun. A 3 for 3 on a prisoner of the moment take.
Here's the real question. Do we end on that note? Or do we press our luck with another topic?
Why don't we do another topic? Your topic today, I got the show sheet. Your topics are good.
It is 11:50.
You sound a little surprised.
No, I'm not surprised. I like Whoa Nelly. I'm one of the. I've always been a Whoa Nelly fan. I don't know how many people like Whoa Nelly. I like it.
All right, I just want to bring one thing up here before we move on from Whoa Now. I brought this up on Saturday, and some of our teammates, we were out at a little event. We were all golfing the other night and at the range place. I'm not suggesting this, but when I brought this notion up, I got death stares. Like, how dare you? And I don't think that's reasonable. How long do we give reigning NL Manager of the Year, Pat Murphy, to figure this thing out before we start to question him the same way we question Fickle, LaFleur, Doc,
You are all 6 of the Bucks coaches they've had.
I'm not saying it.
Dude, stop doing my shtick. I'm not saying, but I'm saying you're saying it.
That is Tausch's stick. It is trademarked, I believe.
What are you saying? Stop saying what you're not saying. Tell me what you are saying.
I would like to know. We don't have many reigning coaches of the year in Wisconsin sports. It doesn't happen that often. LaFleur's never won it, right?
Correct.
How long do you give a leash for someone who's the reigning coach of the year when your team is getting shut out 3 out of 4 games and has had one of the worst offensive months maybe in franchise history that they're on pace for?
He's got a long lever here. I think the interesting part was, and correct me if I'm wrong, was he making commentary about, again, social media, sometimes I don't know what's true and false. Was he making commentary about how much money was spent this offseason by a certain management?
Yes, he did.
I did
when
hear that.
you start going down that road, things can get interesting.
And we know the manager in waiting is Ricky Weeks. They hired him last year. He's going to take over whenever Murph does step down.
Are you thinking like what the Baltimore Orioles just had happen? Does Pat Murphy make it through the year? Is that what you're asking?
There are 3 managers.
Is that what you're asking?
There are 3
I'll let you finish your point, but I'd like you to answer my question.
I'm asking are we 100% certain Pat Murphy will make it through this year if we feel the team is underachieving this drastically?
Yes.
Are they underachieving this drastically?
Pat Murphy is making it through the year. If the Brewers continue to stink and not score any runs, I I don't know what he signed, what kind of contract he signed. I do think that there's an expectation now in Milwaukee that we're going to find ways to win. Pat Murphy had a glorious first season. This season has stunk. But I am not going to call for his job like you just did.
I am not calling for his job.
I'm not
You're
saying.
so funny. You do this stuff to me all the time, and I make sure I specify.
And I have just now, have I not? I'm just... Is there
Jason,
any
does it not
point
sound
to...
like Jesse Nelson, Mr. Brewer
Jesse's
fan?
questioning
He's got his
whether or
Brewer
not his
quarter
job
zip
should
on.
be in
I am
jeopardy.
asking about
No
a
doubt.
chance to have a chance.
Yeah,
Is there any time that there is a conversation about it this year? That's the question.
Are you saying the Brewers made a huge mistake in letting Craig Counsell go to the Cubs?
I am not.
That's what it sounds like you're saying.
I am thankful, and I love Pat Murphy.
Doesn't sound like it. You love him so much you're trying to fire him.
We should get rid of him.
I
That's
love him,
not
but
what
his
I'm
time has
saying.
come and gone. That's what you just said.
Whoa, Nelly!
All right, we got to go because we got one more segment of the program.
Well, that
I just
should have
want
been an interesting topic to bring up at the beginning of the show.
No, you don't say.
Instead of talking about the overture, that's on you, not me. I didn't bring up overture.
Jesse in the first segment with the bad topic.
The quote from Pat Murphy, this was 2 nights ago. Now, did we go spend a lot of money in the offseason, guys? Let's call a spade a spade. No, we didn't.
Oh, boy. That is bold.
That's the quote.
That's bold.
That's the quote. The next quote is, more Wilde Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
We're on the Packers.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
The people there made it a really great trip. The people in Green Bay were really nice, like literally driving ESPN people around themselves.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
The Pancake Palace in Green Bay was outstanding. So really nice trip.
On 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tailgate season, company victory party, don't let your event fall short. V Private Bar Services delivers the winning play with expertise. We're talking custom cocktails, top shelf service, and an atmosphere that'll have your team pumped. Forget the watered down beer and basic mixers. Get the VIP treatment for your corporate events with bartenders who know the perfect pour. V Private Bar Services, where elevated hospitality runs through our veins. Explore vprivatebar.com and leave the mixing to us.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
I'm Monica Kessler.
Monica makes sure that everything at Kessler's is worthy of a lifetime warranty.
The quality of your ring is incredibly important when it comes to diamond setting, ring sizing, and repairs.
Monica has been part of Kessler's since she was 6 years old.
Let me tell you how to judge the quality of the jewelry you're buying.
It's easier than you think.
All you have to do is read the warranty.
Most stores offer a 5-year warranty, but Kessler's offers a lifetime warranty, the strongest in the world.
We can do it because we put more gold in your jewelry.
When a jeweler wants to make a bigger profit, they put less gold into the jewelry. This makes it thinner and easier to break.
Theirs might look like ours at first glance, but Kessler's jewelry is made not to break, and that takes more gold.
We give you a lifetime warranty because our jewelry is made to last forever, just like your love.
Gold is more than $2,000 an ounce.
Kessler's gives you more gold, a lot more gold.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Tackle those lawn patch and repair jobs with help from Menards. Scott's Easy Seed Patch and Repair Mix is a blend of mulch, seed, and fertilizer, making it perfect for sunny or shady areas. Save big money on Scott's Easy Seed Patch and Repair Mix now at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
We're already out of time, but Tausch has gotten a text on the private talking text line that we got to get to.
My buddy Jimmy, this is absolutely unfair to even bring up at this point. Give the man a chance to turn the ship around. It's a very long season. Unfair by Jesse. Couldn't agree more. Calling for Pat Murphy's job before the All-Star break after he won the division, had a great season. Woo.
When is it fair to have a conversation? Clearly not this year.
That's not what you said. Jason, you know that's not what he said.
That's not what he said. I never heard clearly not this year. He never said
that's
that.
The answer.
Check the tape. Hey, old boy, you love that check the tape segment. Let's start tomorrow with you checking the tape.
From the small sample size of people I've asked, clearly not this year. We can't have this conversation, and I'm cool with that.
Boy,
I trust Pat Murphy.
Beep, beep, beep.
That's it for us today. Thanks for coming along for the ride. We'll do it again tomorrow. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The 2015 Wisconsin Men's
Be more efficient with my time. If I sit and try to read an actual book, it is way harder than it used to be.
Exactly.
Not because I forgot how to read, but because my focus in general is completely zapped.
This is Joe and Q.
My man Andre Snelling is Dr. DRE. He's in for Joe Fortenbaugh. I'm Q Myers. It's Joe and Q on ESPN Radio on the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, and tune in. We're also on your smart speaker, presented by Progressive Insurance. WNBA got underway this past weekend. I was really excited, fired up about it, Dre. I went to the barbershop. They had some rando show on. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? This is not the scheduled programming that we're supposed to be watching, so got to check out the Aces and the Liberty, but I believe all eyes were on the Sky and the Fever, and all of a sudden, Caitlin Clark and the Angel Reese, their rivalry renewed. And in the third quarter, we all knew, oh, yeah, this rivalry ain't going nowhere when this happened.
And look out, Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up into Caitlin Clark. Afterwards has something to say as Clark walks away. We know there are always increased eyeballs, energy, and attention around the matchups between Reese and Clark.
So that's what it sounded like at that point of the game. It was 56-42. The game was on ABC. Ryan Russo and Rebecca Lobo on the call, along with Holly Rowe. And the Fever go on to blow out the Sky 93-58. And I don't even know if it was that close. But Caitlin Clark on that play called for a flagrant foul on Angel Reese. Both Clark and Reese called the foul. A basketball play. Aaliyah Boston got hit with a tech. And Dre, I'll tell you, I have to admit, I'm a guy that really enjoys watching the WNBA. I really enjoy watching women's college basketball. I don't know if I want to be, and maybe I'm not the audience that they're looking for. I don't know if I want to go through another season of Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark and everything that comes from it, because now it's being investigated from hateful things that the fans might have said to Angel Reese, and these are all just allegations at this stage of the time. But I don't know if I can go through another season of where I should be celebrating these young ladies for all their accomplishments as opposed to this rivalry that they have that I know is good for the league, but it's also a little exhausting.
I feel that, but it's interesting because, as I was pointing out before the break, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are popular on a level that the entire WNBA has not been popular, right? Like the WNBA itself has just over 3 million Instagram followers for the league.
Right.
And both Angel and Caitlin are over 3 million themselves. And so the storyline surrounding Caitlin, particularly as an individual, but Caitlin and Angel where they intersect, is really driving the league to a level of popularity and just public interest that's never been there before. So you kind of have to cover every time that they interact. There's a reason why they made the two of them playing as the first game of the season.
For sure.
Even though the Fever are a dramatically better team than the Sky. Right?
Yeah.
Like last season, the Fever were a little bit of a better team. But then the Sky lost their other best player, and Kennedy Carter is not there this year, whereas the Fever added DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard. So now they have 5 All-Stars. They're trying to contend to see can they make noise for a championship. The Sky really look like they could still be headed for the lottery. So it's not the teams, it's the players. And I can't lie, I'm here for it. Now, the dust